everyone, how are we today? Just doing our full moon shadow work reading. Okay, so I definitely look forward to this each and every month. On full moons, we do our shadow work. We face those demons and we use them to power us, strengthen us, move us forward, help us grow and heal. So anyone that has sort of watched the channel, you would know that I do love doing the shadow work readings. And this month it is the full moon in Virgo. We are looking at a blood moon in the Virgo eclipse. First eclipse of the season as well. We've got quite a lot going on with this full moon. It is going to be a big one way or another, to the point that this one is actually kind of, potentially life altering for a lot of us this time around. Okay, so I will be taking it a little bit easier on us, but also, as always, not afraid to be confronting when we need to as well. So I do apologize in advance if we do have some confronting, triggering kind of messages. Those sorts of things do trigger us for a reason, though. It's because we do still need to address those issues or address why it is triggering us, those sorts of things. Okay, so anyone that has been sort of keeping up to date with what's going on, with my devices and whatnot, we're trying back on the other original device now that I have completely sort of wiped it. We're hopefully not going to be having some of those issues that we were having, that caused me to get the new device in the first place. So hopefully now it should be much better with two devices, all my stuff on one device and then using this device to record. So I feel like that may have been a part of the issue that we were seeing with the glitching and things, was, messages and notifications and things like that were, coming through while I was recording and things like that. And obviously, as we all do when we end up having our device stacked to the brim with just stuff, photos, videos, all sorts of stuff. So hopefully now that it is emptied, we're not going to be experiencing any of those problems. I will be trying to keep a very close eye on the videos. So if I do need to, pause the video, stop the video so that we can start recording and, edit it together at the end, whatever I need to do to, bring a better quality video to you guys. Because I did just, to be completely honest, I wasn't actually happy with the way that the new device was filming, both with the amount of storage it was taking up for the videos themselves. They were taking up a lot more gig for the video, but also the lighting was horrible compared to this particular lighting. So this is my standard lighting, and yesterday's video I actually had an extra light going and it was still much darker than this lighting seems to be through this device. So I hope everyone is happy with that decision. Like I was saying in yesterday's video, leave me a comment and let me know which one you sort of prefer, and I will, I'll take that into consideration, but I feel like I might have made up my decision already. Okay, so it is going to be a long intro today, so sorry about that in advance as well. Obviously I haven't even really started talking about that full moon completely yet. So we are looking, like I said, it's the lunar eclipse, the full moon in Virgo, which is a blood moon. Could be facing significant challenges during this full moon in the form of purging. Okay, so it's a call to purify and cleanse and realign yourself with yourself. It is actually also a very, very strong karmic energy around this full moon as well. So a lot of destiny, a lot of fated transformations. So some of the things going on for you right now during this, not just the full moon itself, but because we're in between the two eclipses, we've got the eclipse and then we're in between the two retrogrades, I should say, because we do have the Venus retrograde, and then the Mercury retrograde is just starting. So, the Venus retrograde is, in the area of relationships, Mercury in the area of communication. So do not be surprised if you are struggling to communicate clearly with people that you are having relationship misunderstandings and things like that with. We do sort of expect some of those things during the retrograde seasons. Patience is required, but with patience comes a lot of other things as well. So frustration and things like that. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit of an emotional period over this full moon cycle. I have noticed this particular full moon, the energy has been quite strong leading up to that. It has even been, what I would consider early for the full moon cycle there. So I would not be surprised if it does last just a little bit longer than a normal full moon cycle as well. So a full moon cycle, when I say a full moon, it normally does last about 3 days. And so the actual full moon is right in the center of that, the peak, so to speak, and then it starts easing back off. But because there has been such a longer build up, and I'll explain why in a moment, we will expect a longer cool down period as well. So it may take just a little bit of time. I have been in a lot of my personal readings and things like that, I have been talking about, mid-April, even to the point of May, for a lot of people before we actually see the effects that this full moon has made on our lives. Because like I said, this is going to be probably a very significant turning point in a lot of people's lives around this time. So especially too with the way that this year has started off, I feel like a lot of people were really hoping 2025 was going to be a great year. And then, January, February, and the start of March, it's kind of been like, really? So, we should sort of start to see things perking back up mid-April, May. All right, so we may actually get that 2025 that we did want. It's just, starting slow. But the reason for the timing things because of the eclipse. Specifically, eclipses do bring quite a lot of change and transformative energy, and it does actually feel a lot of the time like timelines shifting, and that's kind of what's happening, right? You're creating a new timeline for yourself, and getting rid of the old stuff and all the things connected to that old timeline that no longer suit you. So it can actually feel like that timeline shifting. It can feel as though you're noticing things about time being very non-linear at the moment. So, time slowing down, speeding up. Myself, I have been experiencing this one. The last few days I have been feeling as though I've lost an hour every day. I've sort of looked up and I've gone, is that the time? Wow, where did, I swear there was an extra hour in there. What happened to it? And so there's been some weird shifts with the time at the moment, and that is with the eclipse energy there. But there really is a push to cleanse, break cycles of the past. Could expose some self-delusions, some things that you're telling yourself that this is fine, and now you're kind of realizing no, it's not. I'm going to break. I've been living in a bit of an illusion, a bit of a delusion, so it's time to break free from that, cleanse that out, realign with my truth. So especially if you're stuck on a certain narrative in your life that's not aligned to your growth, we will be sort of starting to see the truth of that at this time as well. The blood moon, like I said, very connected to the feminine energy. So using your emotion and your inner wisdom, your inner strength to empower you through this cleanse. All right, it is a very strong feminine energy. Not only do we have the moon itself being a strong feminine energy here, but the Virgo energy is a feminine energy as well. So we do have a lot of feminine energy around this full moon. So really embracing the feminine and embracing the emotions, because they're going to be right there at the surface. So use them to your benefit rather than allowing yourself to get trapped within those emotions. Okay. So miscommunications, especially in relationships, significant challenges, a call to purify yourself, but very big, significant turning points in your life. This is where we're seeing fated events and opportunities being presented to you. This is a fated, transformative time. There is a strong destiny coming through, at this time. It's a strong karmic energy, a lot of destiny coming into play with this full moon. All right, so it's going to be a very interesting one, but like I said, it may take a few weeks for that to really sort of settle and for you to understand what's even happened during this period of time. All right, but don't be afraid of it. All right, but so as we always do when we have the shadow work readings, I will start with Virgo today because of full moon in Virgo. Obviously, we're still in Pisces season, about to swap over into Aries season. The star signs most affected by this full moon, we have Virgo and Pisces, obviously, but also Sagittarius and Gemini probably are going to be very, very affected. And so if you do have a strong placement in one of those, especially if it happens to be, you know, your moon, your Venus, or your Mercury placement, they are going to impact very much as strongly as the sun signs in those signs this particular full moon as well. All right. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I know this is a long intro today. I hope that you have sort of stuck it out for me. But I am using today the psychic reading cards, where we're looking at a little bit, you know, it's such a transformative energy. I really want to focus on the growth and what we can change about our lives and really change that timeline in a much more positive way for ourselves, really move into the life that you want to have. So we're focusing a little bit more positive today, I feel. But we also have the Ask Your Soul message cards. Okay, so the psychic reading cards, Ask Your Soul message cards, and I do have 2 Lenormand decks here. So we've got our standard shadow work red hand Lenormand, and I am using the Innocent Secrets Lenormand as well. So I am going to 2 and 2, and then we'll clarify with the individual Lenormands, all right? But like I said, we will start off with our Virgos. Okay, so Virgo, I'll start you off at 12 minutes. Timestamps in the description box. Virgo, okay, Virgo, big month, big full moon this one. What does Virgo need to know right now? What aspects does Virgo need to focus on for their shadow work this month? What aspects does Virgo need to focus on for their shadow work this month? Actually, quite like this full moon, it is a big one for you, Virgo, being that it is in your sign, but that means that you have the power to embrace that stronger than a lot of other signs even do. And I'm seeing that directly here for you as well. We have nature as well as meditation. So you really have the power here to ground yourself, grounding being very important for Virgos anyway, being an earth sign here, but really embracing nature and nature's influence on you and your life. You know, what is nature to you, and what is, you know, things that you've been taught. I do feel that that's coming through here strongly. It's really focusing on what is of your true nature. So when you're looking at things in your life, does that connect with my true nature? And obviously with the meditation, needing to spend some time meditating on a lot of these things. Quiet retreat, Virgo. So, you know, really spending some time in nature at the moment to ground yourself specifically, and doing so through meditation and connecting to the earth will really help you here with this shift. Just clarify this message for our Virgos. Nature and meditation for our Virgo shadow work. So reconnecting with yourself quite heavily here. We will see some big changes coming through for you, but it feels as though they're going to be more quickly happy, if that makes sense. The happiness side of the things happening for you around this full moon are going to be revealed a little bit more quickly for you than they may be for other signs, because we do have the letter, so we have direct communication there, you know, text, call. I feel like for a lot of you, that's actually communicating with one's self, what you're communicating with nature, communicating with your soul, communicating with, you know, what is true to you, what is, you know, it's the nature versus nurture thing coming through again, communicating within your own self. You know, what about me is, you know, just part of my true soul, part of my nature, and what about me is what I've been taught to be like, what has society tried to push me into, kind of thing. But we do see the sun here, so we're definitely seeing some epiphanies coming through for you this, you know, this full moon as well. I do feel for a lot of you that communication, it may even be psychic communication for a lot of you, with yourself, with your higher self, with your spirit guides, with God, whatever it is that you sort of trust and believe and meditate to. You may actually be getting some answers through meditation at this time in the form of personal epiphanies. I do feel straight away that a lot of you, Virgo, it's going to be very verbalized to you exactly what you need to focus on this full moon. We do also have the scythe there as well. So we do see you breaking free. These epiphanies allowing you to break free from things that are not serving you, allowing you to make very sudden choices and move forward suddenly without, no second glances. I kind of feel for a lot of you, Virgo, it's you have the epiphany and then you're like, that's it, bang, changing this. I'm breaking free from that, and I'm going to make a very unexpected choice here, or unexpected change in my life, and break free from the things that aren't serving me. Just clarity on that scythe energy for Virgo, please. It's got to do with whatever's coming through for you there. We have the rider clarifying that. So the rider is just generally, good news on the way. So whatever that epiphany is that's bringing something up for you here, that's what's it's bringing about this change very directly for you here. It's that's it. I know the truth of this now, and I'm going to make that change. I'm going to move forward. It's movement, a lot of quick movement. It's very, very even impulsive for some of you here, where you're seeing something and you're going, that's it, I'm changing that. I'm not happy with that in my life. It's not taking me where I want to go. Bang, gone, move on. Okay, so you're making some very, very sudden changes in your life, following through, talking to yourself. So the more that you talk to yourself, the more that you're going to know what to do here. Okay, Virgo, but we'll have a look with this other deck as well. Virgo, what does Virgo need to know for their shadow work this month? What does Virgo need to know for their shadow work this month? I was going to do 2, but I think I'm going to do 1, actually, for this deck. They are very direct. Oh, no, 2. Okay, I will do 2. I'm going to take the bottom of the deck as the second for you here, Virgo. So firstly, we have stepping out of your comfort zone. The comfort zone, stepping out of it, getting out of it, doing things. And for a lot of you, the meditation and grounding may be outside of your comfort zone, slowing down and stopping and sitting and having to force yourself to meditate. For some people, it is a force yourself to stop and listen to the sounds of nature, listen to the meditation and slow down. I've actually, this has been a theme in some of my personal readings lately. Stop and listen. Just stop and listen. Meditate. Let go of your expectations. Okay, so you're not going into the meditation to. There's no end goal. It's allowing this to happen naturally. Okay, so you're letting go of your expectations of what's going to change, of how it's going to change, all those sorts of things, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit different here. Clarify this energy for our Virgos. Virgo and shadow work for March. So we are seeing here that there is a bit of a focus. Firstly, we have the clouds coming through there. So your way of thinking, so letting go of the expectations, very, very important for you here, Virgo, because when you have a certain way of, thinking things, you have certain expectations of how things are going to go. The clouds is a very much there, thinking through all the potentials, thinking through all the consequences, thinking through all the potential results of things and outcomes and things like that. Whereas what we're seeing here is you're letting go of those expectations. So you may think you've thought through every possible scenario, and then all of a sudden, bang, the one scenario that you didn't account for, that's it. All right. We do see the dog energy as well as the ring coming through here. So for quite a lot of you, this is going to, be around the areas of relationships with your platonic friends, or relationships, and it could be any kind of relationship really, but the dogs are platonic energy, and we have the ring, cycles, patterns, and relationships in focus here for you, Virgo, around this full moon shadow work. Okay, letting go of your expectations, letting go of the expectations that you're placing on your friends and on people when it comes to loyalty and people's understanding and empathy towards you. That understanding that, I feel like for a lot of you, Virgo, the epiphany is going to be very connected to understanding that just because you think about things one way, it does not mean that that's how everybody else thinks and acts. All right, so understanding, you achieving a little bit more understanding here for the fact that, people around you do not think the same way that you do. Letting go and changing those expectations around the way that other people should act, should think, should behave, all those sorts of things. Should be loyal, should show loyalty, should show friendship to me. They may be definitely things popping up for you this full moon, Virgo. So I hope that helps in some kind of a way there. I do suggest meditation. Listening to nature, Virgo, does seem to be very recommended for you. As always, you are more than welcome to check multiple placements and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the readings. And we will move on over to our Libra. Okay, Libra. Libra, what aspects are going on for Libra with the shadow work this full moon? What does Libra need to be looking at for their shadow work this full moon? Shadow work for Libra, please. Ooh, Libra. Okay, I had a similar message recently for you, Libra. In the children reading I have uploaded relatively recently. I believe it was 2 or 3 videos ago. So you may want to check that one out. It was the one that was glitched out. So I am very sorry about that particular video to start with. But we do see here baby coming through for you here, Libra. Actually coming through with spirit guides. So I am getting a few messages straight away. There's a couple of you, Libra, and you will know if that is you. It's specific for a couple of you that this full moon is about you dealing and healing with that miscarriage. Yeah. I know it's a hard thing to deal and heal. That's what this full moon is about for some of you. For others of you, it's about the baby that you could have, the baby that you should have, the baby that you didn't have. Those sorts of themes are coming through. So for a lot of you here, that's what if? You're a little bit here very muchly focusing on what if that had been different. What if that's different in the future? It just seems to be on the mind a little bit here. And I feel like with the Spirit Guides card here, I do feel as though a lot of you are actually being, drawn to think about this seriously, even if you have not been. All right. So this is potentially a big timeline shift for some of you where, because I am picking up strongly that for some of you, it's you maybe up until now have been telling yourself that this is not something, a baby, a child, a new child, and another child, a first child, being involved with someone, with a child, whatever that is for you specifically in your situation. It's got to do with a child in your life, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's your biological child. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're looking at a pregnancy here. It's the general theme of that, of new life in your family, in your immediate life. So I do feel as though for a lot of you, especially those of you where you have been sort of, up until now, you've been telling yourself, no children, no more children. Because I am picking up here that there may even be somebody who has been very adamant that I am going to be child free. I do not want to be with people that have got children. I do not want children in my life. And this particular full moon may be actually a little bit of a timeline shift for you with that, and the way that you're thinking about introducing new children into your life. Very interesting. I was not expecting to see that, to be honest. But, it does also show me here, Libra, that you do have a strong spirit team that are trying to help you gather your forces through this, all right? And I am also picking up here somebody that they have, it's not, and it's connected to a miscarriage, but I don't know whether it's your miscarriage. It may actually be, a sibling that was supposed to be your sibling for some of you, is actually kind of in the form of spirit guide for you now. So you've got a very playful, innocent spirit guide watching over you as well. But I'll clarify this message for you here, Libra. Libra, clarify this message for Libra with their shadow work, please. So if you haven't watched that children, all signs, maybe go back and check that one out, because that was very connected to this. What I'm seeing here as well was a similar, well, it was the same topic of conversation, let's put it that way. Okay. Pretty much what I've just sort of spoken about. We have the lily coming through. So emotions definitely coming to the surface for you this full moon. We have the snake here as well, which shows me that, with those two there, we're seeing something that you have been, deluding yourself. It's that you've been under this illusion that I do not want this long term. I do not want that long term. This is what I want long term. This is what I want long term. And you're now actually getting to, this is actually very life-changing, this full moon for you, in the sense that you're realizing now, you're coming out into yourself a little bit, where you're realizing that has been an illusion, and that deep down, there's something deep down in those emotions that feels differently to what you've been telling yourself, it feels like for a while, and it's kind of like someone been saying here, oh, I don't envision myself ever having more children. I don't envision myself having children ever. And now here comes this full moon, this life-changing cycle here, and you're realizing, that's been a bit of an illusion that I've been, deluding myself into thinking it's okay, I don't want children, when actually we also have the garden. So we are sort of seeing that you're meeting that halfway. You're meeting that head on a little bit more here. For some of you, that this is coming to light for you because you are compromising with somebody else. So, you maybe are meeting with somebody that makes you think, oh, I've never wanted children, but oh, geez, I want children with you. Those sorts of things, but also meeting with your spirit guides halfway, and they're kind of saying to you, are you being truthful with yourself, Libra? What's this deal? What's the deal? Do you, when you say that you don't want children, do you really mean it? And keeping in mind too that for some of you, this could go the other way. And some of you may have been thinking, oh, I really want a baby. I really want a baby. And this full moon is the recognition that, but do I? It could go both ways for some of you here. So keep that in mind. Libra, Libra, what does Libra need to know for their shadow work this full moon, please? What does Libra need to know for their shadow work this full moon? So it's going to be a topic in your little noggin. And there's your answer straight away on that one. We have choose honesty. So, you know, breaking through that illusion that you've been putting yourself in or putting on yourself and feeling as though you need to be telling everyone, oh, I'm never going to have children. I don't want children. Choose honesty. Be honest with yourself at least. If you can't be honest with anyone else about that issue, be honest with yourself at least. We also have express gratitude. So I'm actually picking up some of you are already pregnant or on the way to being pregnant. And you're expressing gratitude for realizing that, hang on, I'm glad I realized that now before it's too late, before it became an issue, you know. I do feel I'm picking up on a lot of feminine Libra energy here. I'm also noticing, it's actually also pointing out to me, both the women in those cards, look at their hair. They both have brown, somewhat curly hair. They're both darker women. They're not, well, she's black, but then, you know, she's quite light-skinned. So I'm feeling this is somebody who, you know, for those of you this is probably going to resonate the strongest with, is those of you who resonate with those images, okay? If you have brown or black, somewhat curly hair, because I'm not seeing it quite this curly for a lot of you, but somewhat curly, brown, black, coloured skin. It is just pointing that out to me. Okay, so it just wanted me to see the similarities and point them out to you there that, you know, it's that mother's embrace. It's that nurturing energy. And it actually reminds me of a friend of mine who literally looks nearly almost exactly like that. Just shorter hair and darker skin, and she looks like that woman exactly. When I first met her, adamant, I do not want children. I don't want children. I'm not going to have children. She now has a child and loves that little boy and is thinking about having a second. So, you know, you never really know. It's one of them things that you can never say never. You know, choose honesty with yourself on that one. Libra, just clarify, express gratitude for Libra with their shadow work, please. So we are seeing that garden card coming through again. We have the crossroad. This is you know, a significant turning point for you, Libra. This is a significant timeline shift for a lot of you. You know, your spirit guides are standing here saying that, do you know what? You actually chose this. You actually chose this timeline shift. You've actually made the decision here already, that you're going to actually start shifting into a different path for yourself here. We have the ring as well as the garden. So for some of you, you have decided on this timeline shift because you are, you know, meeting a relationship halfway. You're compromising where, you know, maybe some of you, you're meeting somebody where it's like, yeah, or you're connected to somebody where it's like, yeah, we want to rethink the children thing. Maybe we do want children, you know, that kind of thing. So some of you, this has sort of started. It's been initialized within you, maybe because you're compromising a little bit with somebody else here, because you know you're wanting to, and I feel like for some of you, it's publicizing your relationship a little bit here as well. That you're you know, you're formalizing and publicizing that relationship a little bit and being a bit, you know, in the sense of honesty, that you're maybe choosing to say to this person that, look, I know we've talked about this in the past, but do you think we should talk about it again? And both of us be a bit more honest about, you know, what we really want here. You know, so I feel like for some of you, we're breaking that pattern of the past where we're hiding away from the truth of ourself, and hiding in the illusions, and expressing our gratitude that, look, I'm grateful for the opportunity to have that, but we might be right to, you know, shift timelines now and try things a different way now. Yeah. For a lot of you, you know, support from friends is going to be very important at the moment as well. All right. So I know that was a very focused kind of message for you there, Libra, but you are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. You know, subscribe to the channel. And we will move on over to our Libra. Okay, moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio, looking at shadow work this month. Shadow work for our Scorpio. What does Scorpio need to know in regard to shadow work? Aspects for you, Scorpio. Interesting. I definitely will need to clarify these ones. Not necessarily this first one. Loved ones in spirit. So this is kind of a dual message, because for some of you it's exactly as it sounds. Loved ones in spirit, okay? People that you love that have passed on, that are no longer on this earth. This full moon may actually be bringing up a lot of energy about those people, and about those connections. So it's about, I will clarify it anyway, but for others of you, this is a little bit different in the sense it's loved ones in spirit, as these people may not have actually passed. There may be people in your life that, because I'm picking up here, because it's kind of giving me people that should be loved ones, but they're not in your life. They're there in spirit, and it's finding those people, those role models in spirit, and finding the spirit of that connection rather than finding it in that actual person. Because I'm kind of seeing here, I don't know whether you can really tell, but we've got the male and the child here, and the spirit figure is the woman. So, you know, you could easily perceive that as a father, a mother, and a child. So I feel for a lot of you, this has got to do with the mother energy, and it's not necessarily talking about your mother. Okay, it's talking about mother energy. This full moon is a very strong feminine energy. And I feel like for some of you, this message is actually allowing you to see that even if you don't have a mother figure in your life, or your mother figure isn't necessarily, you know, we know what mothers are like. They're not necessarily what you want them to be all the time. They're human. They err just as badly as the rest of us, right? We all make mistakes, and mothers tend to make quite a lot of mistakes. Not going to lie, it's just the nature of parenthood. We make mistakes. Some parents are able to learn from those mistakes and do better. Other parents are not. All right, and once again, human nature. So I'm just kind of feeling that there's this energy of creating mother energy in your life, regardless of who is providing that for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be your mother or a mother figure. You can actually, because I'm getting a message here about creating your own family. So I don't know whether for some of you that might be literally creating your own family in the sense of, you know, being a mother and being the mother that you have always sort of wished for in your heart here. Just clarify this loved ones in spirit energy for Scorpio, please. Why is that a shadow work message for Scorpio? Loved ones in spirit. I'm actually getting the second card coming through in the confirmation here as well. It is once again telling me about kind of mummy issues. I'm not going to lie. We are looking at some mummy issues here being dealt with through this full moon. We have the heart coming through first here. So it's not specific. For some of you, it may not specifically be mother issues. It's to do with love, the way that you give love, the way that you receive love, the way that you have, learnt love in your life, and how that, makes you able to mother yourself. We all have elements of divine masculine, divine feminine within us. And this is kind of asking you, loved ones in spirit are asking you to mother yourself a little bit more here, nurture yourself, allow those emotions to run rampant, I suppose, so that you can actually treat yourself the way that a mother would treat a child. Because, it's giving... I saw this thing a while ago. I can't remember where it was or whatever, but it was about the example of, when you're born onto this earth, it's kind of really crazy, right? Because every single person that is born onto this earth, when you are born, you're given this human to look after, and you have to, raise and nurture and teach this human how to do everything in this world. And I'm not talking about your children, I'm talking about you being like your soul being given this human meat body that that's your responsibility. It's yes, when we're a young child, it is the responsibility of our caregivers to, our parents, our caregivers, to look after us and teach us how to walk and talk and all that sort of stuff. But, there comes a time in our life when that's our responsibility. It's the responsibility of our soul to look after that human, okay, being yourself. All right. So if you're looking at yourself as two separate entities here, you're looking at yourself as your soul, your spirit, and then you're looking at yourself as your human self. Your soul has been given responsibility of this human. And so there comes a time in everyone's sort of life where it is your responsibility that if you didn't have the protection and the proper caregiving to raise you and nurture you in a loving way that taught you love in a healthy, loving way when you're a child, when you're an adult, that is actually now your responsibility to reparent yourself. Yes, a lot of us, we can sit there and blame our parents for not doing the right thing, and there's a lot of valid. That's valid. I'm not going to lie. Like, there's bad parents in the world. It's a simple fact. There's a lot of bad humans in this world. It's a fact. And so, but then it's your responsibility as a soul to find the things that you lack, to grow, to heal. And I'm not saying it's easy. We have the hourglass, divine timing coming through. I'm going to come back to that. Time, because that was the other card I drew for you here, Scorpio, was time. Okay, so we are seeing divine timing coming through twice for you. I will come back to that, Scorpio. But we do also have here the mountain as well as the tree. So, it's your responsibility to be determined enough to climb these mountains, to fix these blockages, to these blockages. Okay, so we have the mountain as well as the tree. Okay, so this mountain energy is all about blockages, challenges that you're facing, and that this is the blockage, this is the challenge, the way that you've been taught love, the way that you have, that you now have to be the one to, put in the work to teach yourself how to love in a healthier way, how to receive love, how to nurture yourself and love yourself in a healthier way. And then we do have the tree healing and growth. Okay, it does just show us it's all about bending but not breaking with that tree. All right, so we see the challenge is now in your lap. Okay, Scorpio, and this is what that's all about. Loved ones in spirit, and that you are the loved one in spirit as well. That you are the one now responsible for. Your spirit is now responsible for you being the loved one, and taking that role of mother within your own self. Regardless of your gender. There is just coming through very sort of strongly here that this is to do with mother energy, love energy. So the past month's shadow work reading may have some stuff in it for you as well. That was a love-based shadow work reading as well. If you want to go back and check that one, it should be the February one on the shadow work playlist. I did say I would come back to it. We've got time, divine timing here coming through. So you, Scorpio, I know some of the Scorpios I've been talking to this week, there has been a bit of a lead up to this full moon that has been a bit rough on the Scorpio energy, and time is definitely probably something that you are noticing at the moment. When I was sort of in that introduction there, to this video, I was talking about the time. It's a significant timeline shift here, and that means that with the eclipses, that bringing so much change, and it can feel like a timeline shift completely, like you're jumping from one dimension to another, and you may even notice the time shifting somewhat for you this week at the moment. So feeling like you've lost time or time's dragged on and things like that. So that does seem to be quite prominent here for you this week as well. But it also lets us know that it's time for you to, if you, whatever it is that you've been lacking from mothering and from love, that it's now time to heal those issues and put in the work to, heal that within your own self here. Okay, Scorpio. But we'll have a look with the other deck here as well. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio. What's going on for our Scorpios? What does Scorpio need to know in regard to shadow work? Scorpio, what does Scorpio need to know in regard to shadow work? Relinquish your fears. It's scary as hell, but cross the bridge anyway. Yeah? It's scary as hell. Put in the work. Be determined to do this, and you will do this. Nourish your soul. Don't forget to stop and take time to look after your soul. And, your soul is the one that is in charge of this crazy life. You need to look after that as well. But just clarifying that message here for Scorpio, nourishing your soul and relinquishing fears for Scorpio. So facing your fears, especially when it comes to love. All right. Wow. We have the letter, we have the ring, and we have the lily. Communicating, specifically to do with the relationships in your life and the vulnerabilities that you have here. So communicating about this to people, to someone. I do feel for a lot of you, there is someone here specifically, Scorpio, that you are wanting to communicate. You may find this is a heavy communication time for you, especially with that, the retrograde energy. We do see people popping around in that energy when it comes to relationship stuff. But being vulnerable, being open, not being afraid to communicate when it comes to the close relationships or the potential close relationships in your life. I am picking up here that there is a long-term relationship headed your way. Whether it's started yet or not, I don't know. But I feel like maybe for some of you, that's why it's relinquishing your fears a little bit here, because we're not going to lie. There might be a big, long bridge ahead of you. There might be a huge, giant mountain ahead of you. it might take a while to get to the other side. It might take a little bit of time here. You've got to face your fears to be able to get there. You've got to just start walking. Yeah, you're never going to get to the other side if you don't just start walking. So I feel like for some of you, there may be an opportunity here for you, and you kind of know it. You kind of know it because it's feeling very wrapped up in your fears about love, you know, and your fears about relationships and your fears about being vulnerable and open and honest with somebody others here. So the need to communicate and really just be open and honest about your vulnerabilities and about these fears and about, you know, willing to take the steps and knowing that it's time, knowing that you want to give it time, you know, communicating that, look, I'm still working on this. I'm still healing from this. But you know what? I'm going to start walking across this bridge. I'm going to start climbing this mountain. I'm determined to try to get myself to a place where, you know, I'm not trapped in that pattern of the past, where I'm allowing that fear to take control and hold me back from, you know, where I deserve to be when it comes to love and growth of love within my own self. You know, so I do feel for a lot of you, there is someone around your energy that definitely could help you with this as well. So it's giving a lot of healing. You know, so if there is a specific relationship, the more that you communicate and you know, it potentially could be a long-term thing as well, and communicating what you want long-term and what you need long-term when it comes to love and relationship stuff, you know, and facing your fears. This is actually part of what's nourishing your soul, is that you're addressing this within your own self. And you know, look, this is where I have this fear about love. I find this very difficult to open up, be vulnerable. I'm telling you about this. This is me facing my fears by telling you about this. And this actually is the first step for you, Scorpio. You're starting to nourish your own soul, but, you know, and feed your soul because you're taking the steps. And, you know, I think a lot of the time, a lot of people don't realize, but that is one of the main things that the universe, that's like all the universe wants us to do. The universe doesn't have all these, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's got a lot of guidance, yes, but all it wants us to do is to try. You know, all it wants is for us to try and for us to connect with love in whatever makes sense to us. Connect to love in you know, there's a lot of different ways we can connect to love, and that's all the universe really wants is for the love to beat out the fear. Yeah. It's time. Your time is near, Scorpio. And I feel like I have been saying to one of my Scorpio besties that the time is near. Like, yeah, I know it's a struggle right now, and especially Scorpio energy, like I said, it's been a bit rough, not going to lie. It's been a bit, you know, this year has been, it's felt very meh this year so far. Okay. Middle of April, May, things are really going to start making a bit more sense of why you've had to go through this little bit of struggle period. And I feel for a lot of you too, this period may have been a little bit emotionally struggle, you know, this last week or so especially. And I'm not going to lie, this as we settle into the Mercury retrograde, once we, you know, get this eclipse energy over and done with, you know, give it a couple of weeks, and then we will really maybe start to see why this is actually such a big turning point for you in your life. You may start to understand that in another, you know, couple of weeks to a month. I feel like there's some big stuff going on for you, Scorpio, and I've been saying it for a while now. I first picked up on this energy December, I think it was, the start of December, that 2025 is actually going to be a really, really big year for you, Scorpio, and some big stuff, life-changing stuff. And this is just the start, all right? So the things that are happening in this period of time, as long as you're putting in the work, that's all you're being asked to do, is to just start putting in the work, just start taking those steps. And this is going to really set you on a path that is setting you up for your future. Yeah. So it's well worth it. at the end of the day. I know it's challenging to deal with when you're in it, but you're going to look back in a month or so and be like, so glad that I put in the work here. It was well worth it. But more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, looking at shadow work for our Sagittarians. Shadow work. What are the shadow work aspects that Sagittarius needs to face this full moon, please? Shadow work for Sagittarius. Fun full moon for you, Saggy. Not gonna lie, it's you are one of the signs most affected by this full moon. I'm not going to lie. Firstly, we have meditation. Okay, so it's very, very important for you to center yourself and ground yourself. Spend some time in quiet contemplation during this full moon period. All right. I do also have here. This is the one that gets me going. We have the bag of marbles. So you're losing your marbles, Sagittarius. I love that for you. I love it for you, because this is actually a really good thing for you. This is actually like crazy in a good way. It's like, it's such a fun kind of energy, but I'm not going to lie, like it's full moon, all right? We've got the eclipses, we've got the retrogrades, or the eclipse and then the retrogrades, but I feel like you're losing your marbles a little bit, Sag. Embrace it, because you may be collecting some random marbles along the way that do not belong to you, and it's time to throw those marbles away and make sure you've got your bag of marbles. And do you know what though? Maybe they are your marbles that you've picked up along the way, because you play marbles and you shoot the marbles at each other, and you steal marbles, and you take somebody else's marbles and they take some of your marbles, and we share our crazy marbles. And it's like marbles is in itself is a very interesting concept when it comes to shadow work, because it's very varied. Each one is unique and individual. So it's accepting. There's a bit of acceptance here, and especially with that meditation as well. So it's really slowing down and stopping and appreciating a little bit here. All the variety, all the uniqueness that you have picked up along the way, and that you have shared with others as well. Because like a game of marbles, yes, you've stolen some other people's marbles, but do you know what? That is a unique marble that is now, it's now part of you. It's now part of your bag of marbles. I hope this analogy is making sense to you. It's making perfect sense to me, but maybe that is because I lost my marbles a long time ago. But, each marble in that bag, they're all, all different colors. They're all, different variations. No two are the same. Even some that look similar, there's slight variations, and, they're made of glass, and they're fragile, but because glass is fragile, but they're hard as, and you can throw them, and there's a lot of analogies coming through with the marbles there. Clarify the shadow work energy for Sagittarius, please. I feel like it's reflecting upon all the bits and pieces that you've picked up along the way, that have you've learned from other people, and you've taught other people that those unique little things that make you, and you're really starting to appreciate that. Wow, I'm so glad I met that person, because yeah, they effed me over in the long run, but I stole that marble from them, and I learnt this, and it's really cool. And you know, I love that about myself, that you know, I now have this weird habit or something like that. You know, whatever those little things are for you, those little marbles. You know, it's appreciating the marbles, even regardless of how you had to earn them. Because yeah, like firstly we have the ship coming through. So this is just part of the adventure. So I feel like we're reflecting upon the adventure of our life a little bit here, and seeing, you know, how much more adventure we've got yet to go. That all our ships are coming in. We're realizing how uniquely adaptable to the ebb and flow, to the, you know, the crazy waves and tides of life that we've become, and we've been able to start taking it all as part of the adventure. That, you know, ultimately, isn't life just a game? You know, it's a game. It's not. It's an adventure. It's not. You know, I feel like that's what you're taking from this full moon is really a bit of lightheartedness, and learning that lightheartedness, and treating life with as a bit of a joke sometimes, and those sorts of things. But also, you know, we do have the candle here, so there is this deeply romanticized part of you that you know, desires, and you have this eternal flame within you for that fun and adventure, and that's what keeps you burning. Is, you know, if you weren't uniquely open to the playfulness and the adventurous side of life here, that candle still be burning within you? And you know, this is actually what's going to get you to the stars. You're sailing away through to the stars here. You're setting the world on fire. You've got that intense, insane passion within you that's burning away in the form of adventure, of you know, playing games, and, you know, mucking around and having fun with it, and you know, not taking it so hard. I keep hearing the phrase, life's not a, don't take it so hard. So I won't say the word, but I think you all know what I'm talking about there. I do keep hearing that, so I just wanted to let you know. But we do have the star there as well. So knowing that, you know, no matter how crazy the adventure gets, as long as you keep those end goals, those wishes, those dreams, those fantasies in mind, you're going to get there. And it's like the crazier the wish, the more determined you are to get it. The more that people tell you that's never going to happen for you, Sagittarius, that's unrealistic, that's crazy. Sagittarius turns around. Have you lived my life? Do you know how much crazy stuff I've just have and has already happened, and things that people just think that I am never going to be able to have in my life, and bang, here they are. You're keeping the dream alive for the rest of us, I feel, Sagittarius. So I really like this energy for you. But, you know, maybe when you're meditating, you know, that's part of your meditation is to just have fun. Meditate and learn how to have fun if that's something that you struggle with. Meditate on playful energy, on adventurous. And, you know, isn't that one of the stereotypes of Sagittarius, that, you know, when you can't handle things, that you just pack up and move? You know, so travel away from it all. You're known to be the travelers. So, and that's what it is, though. It's, you're traveling through life at the moment, and that's your journey. That's your adventure, is this crazy thing called life. And you know, there's just this part of you that, you know, that no dream is unreachable. As if you can dream it, you can have it. You know, and it might happen in the most craziest way, and that's totally fine. Sagittarius, what does Sagittarius need to know for their shadow work? So I feel like the basis of that whole message is embracing the crazy adventure, taking the journey that's a bit crazy. You know, to be honest, I feel like that's the main thing there. Declutter. So it is time also for you to get rid of the riffraff. make them walk the plank. You know, if you're on this ship and you've got this bag of marbles rolling around the ship, well, you may as well act like a pirate and declutter in a pirate kind of way. Throw them to the sharks. Sorry, Sagittarius. I'm really enjoying your energy this full moon. So, roll with the crazy. Roll with it. Be like a pirate and make them walk the plank. All right. Declutter. Get rid of, if it's holding the journey down, throw it overboard. It's holding the ship down, throw it overboard. You don't need that weight on your ship. It's not serving you any good. Throw it. Chuck it. Make it walk the plank. We also have trust. Okay, that one says, trust that you know the answer. So, you already know that crazy is good for you. Crazy is actually really good for you because it's not crazy, all right? It's not crazy. It just because it's beyond the realm of what other people can understand doesn't mean that it's crazy. Try being, and a lot of you are, right, already on that journey where it's like what I've been through with, spiritual awakenings and, being psychic and things like that. It's like you think you are crazy. There is some certain points where you're like, okay, should I go check myself into a mental hospital right now? Just because other people don't believe it or don't understand it, even if sometimes you don't believe it or understand it, doesn't mean that it's crazy. Doesn't mean that it's not real. See, this is the weird thing about life. Sometimes the crazy stuff is the truth. You think about when you're reading a bunch of stories, like, because I watch a lot of the Reddit stories and stuff. I like the Reddit stories. And you'll get comments on the Reddit stories about, oh, this is too crazy. It must be fake. It must be AI generated. And I'm like, no, the crazier it is, the more I actually believe that it's real. Like, there's no such thing as that's too crazy, because the craziest stuff in this world happens. And I've seen it a million times, seen the craziest stuff happen. And, to me, around me, in other people's lives, sometimes the crazy stuff is the realest stuff. So trust that you already know the answer. It's not crazy. You haven't lost your marbles. You haven't. And even if in losing your marbles, you found the truth. So, it's there is a big part here where you are removing that deception from your own self, removing the deception, removing the haters. I feel we've got the snake here, getting rid of some of the haters to start with. All right. So that's part of that decluttering. The haters that are telling you have to be a certain way, you have to believe a certain thing, you're going crazy, Sagittarius. Maybe they're the ones that need to walk the plank because they're not crazy enough. We have the key here. So you are being given this opportunity through this full moon to not only get rid of the people through your life that can't roll with the delusion, that they don't, they're not matching your energy to start with, decluttering those people, but to understand the delusions and realize that some of these things aren't delusions for you. It's you're not crazy if it's true. You're not crazy if it's real. As much as you're trying to, tell yourself, I'm deluded, I'm crazy. It's an illusion. It's not real. If it's real, it's real. Like, it's a hard one. Not gonna lie, I've been through this myself, but you are getting some opportunities this full moon to kind of reveal the truth to yourself about, I feel like for you, it's actually that some of the stuff that people are telling you and you've been trying to tell yourself that's a delusion, that's an illusion, that's not real, you're kind of realizing that, hang on, there's something to it. There's a little bit more here to some of this crazy stuff. Sorry if you keep using the word crazy. It's just I don't know, it's the easiest way for me to describe this energy. Plus, you know, I'm the crazy fairy, so I really support people embracing their crazy. So bring it on. We have the garden as well. So, you know, you're getting some opportunities to really meet this energy head on and meet it halfway, so that you're really understanding, you know, what is delusion and what is not, and, you know, trusting yourself a little bit more that you're not crazy. And you may be meeting somebody as well that is helping you understand this. There may be somebody in your path coming through here that is really sort of allowing you to understand that you're not actually crazy with that particular thing, whatever it is for you in your life here. So there are definitely some new opportunities coming through for you here. I do feel for some of you that there may actually be a mentor type energy around you at this time, helping you trust yourself and helping you see the truth that the crazy is actually the real for you. So roll with it. Roll with it. For some of you, that may be a spiritual thing too, because of the meditation card as well. So that that may be a spirit guide, that type of thing. But, you know, we have a lot of successful opportunity here to really use this energy to our own benefit, and move ourselves forward. For some of you, there is like an opportunity in the form of some sort of proposal or invitation. So that's all it wants to tell me about that. It may be connected to that mentor thing I'm picking up on as well, but for some of you, it may specifically be like an opportunity in the sense of a proposal of some sort of like an invitation where you meet somebody or something along those lines. All right, so see how that plays out. But bottom of the deck, find a blessing in disguise. So the crazy stuff, it's a blessing in disguise. It really is. Honestly, it really is. And I'm not lying. I'm not going to lie that it's always a blessing, because sometimes it does feel, you know, there is always, with everything, there is always, like, because I feel like for a lot of you that this is part of your spiritual awakening as well. So I do just want to talk a little bit more about that, my own personal experiences, you know, with, you know, the other realm of things, and understanding things on a different level, and trusting yourself a little bit more when it comes to the crazy stuff, because, you know, it's part of the journey. And I am not going to lie that there is actually hard parts alongside it all. You know, when I don't know what, I don't normally say this, but I will share it with you today, Sagittarius, that when you can actually see potential futures, you kind of really have I personally struggle a lot with getting from where things are right now to that potential future. I'm someone that you know, once I can see the potential future, I'm ready to just jump straight into it. And I forget to go back and hang on, I need to take the steps in between as well. So sometimes there is some stuff that you wouldn't think about, but then it's also too knowing that, well, I'm only seeing potential futures. You know, there's multiple futures available here. There's not just one set future. You know, certain things are set to some extent, but you know, when I'm sort of predicting the future, so to speak, it's not necessarily set. Free will and things like that can change it. So it's very interesting sometimes that, because I get really frustrated sometimes when I know what should happen, and to me it's like, this should happen, that's the best potential future here, so that's the one that should happen, that's the one we should aim for, that's the one we should try to get to. And then, you know, somebody else's free will step in and take a different route, and it really frustrates me sometimes, because I can't do the work for everybody else. You know, they need to do that themselves. So there is some downsides to it all. I'm not going to lie. There's always, you know, there's always the other side of the coin, I suppose, with everything, with every, you know, gift. There is always things like that. So don't idealize it, but be aware of those things as well. Be aware that there is always challenges alongside that sort of stuff as well. I just felt it very imperative to let you guys know about that. So I just feel that there might be some Saggies out there that are idealizing it a little bit and needing to understand that there are challenges, and there are, especially when it comes to your personal life. There does seem to be, it's very, very difficult sometimes when you get stuck in the delusion versus reality. Which one do I choose here? Do I choose what's really going on, or do I choose the delusion of what I know it should be going on? It's a little bit hard sometimes, that fight between like the 3D and the reality versus the spiritual knowledge. All right, so just take that on board, that it's not always the easiest path as well. All right, so I don't know why I feel like I had to stress that so heavily for you there, Saggy. But there we go. That's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Capricorns. Capricorn. What does Capricorn need to look at for their shadow work this month? Aspects for Capricorn when it comes to shadow work. Capricorn, shadow work messages, please. Capricorn. Trying to tell me the whole deck. No, I don't have the time. Don't have the time, Capricorn. There's always time. No, I'm not going through the whole deck with Capricorn. I'm sorry. One more for Capricorn, please. Capricorn. Making the time. Understanding time. It's time. One more for Capricorn, please. Shadow work. Capricorn. Doorways. All right. Doorways. That reminds me so much of, I'm getting two things here. I'm getting that movie, the Jumper movie, where I don't know why it's connecting to that Doorways card, because it's got nothing to do with the image. But that Jumper movie, if you've seen that movie, and he like jumps in between places. Yours is more about like time, Capricorn. And very interesting. I'm getting a lot of synchronicities here for you too. Because look, we're pointing at the 11. We're also pointing over here at the 3. That card is card 11. That card is card 33. So 11, 33 may be very significant at this time, Capricorn. Time. Scorpio had this as well, I believe. Time is, it's not money, Capricorn. Time is not money. Why are you so ruled by time? A lot of you are allowing time to rule you too much. Once again, I feel like we've gone through this message a lot recently, Capricorn, of needing to go with the flow a little bit more. Stop letting time control you. Stop trying to control time. You, Capricorn, probably are one of the signs that have noticed time fluctuations around this full moon as well. So maybe feeling like, where did all my time go? Why do I feel like I lost an hour? Why do I feel like this is taking too long and it's, I've gained an hour? Time might have shown itself to be non-linear to you this last week and then, moving forward in the next week as well. Timeline shifting. This really is time to walk through that door, time to find your door, Capricorn, because I'm also seeing Monsters Inc. with the doors, yeah? And it's not the same on the other side of those doors as what it is in the monster movie, right? But it's the doors, all the doors lined up. See how all the doors are lined up in a row here? And the one that might be open to you may not be your door. You can have a look and check it out and see if it is, but it may not be your door. It's kind of like you're feeling you're feeling rushed to choose a door, to walk through the door, but time is irrelevant to you, Capricorn. It's your time to just stop and think, stop and feel. You don't have to rush through that door. You're not on a schedule. You're not, you don't have to collect a certain amount of screams for your shift. You're not actually working. That's not working for you. You're putting too much emphasis on time, and that's why a lot of you, your timeline is shifting here. And if you just wait 5 minutes, all these doors are going to move, and then the one that opens up in front of you next might be the one. What was that? Capricorn, what was that? What I just said then. Sometimes when I'm channeling, the only way to explain it is I can taste things. Sometimes certain things I'll say something and certain things taste certain ways. So when I say something and I know that is like a spiritual truth, it tastes very strongly to me of truth, and I'll know that that's something very important. That's a deep truth of the universe, of the fabric of the universe. What did I just say? The next door that opens might be the one. That tastes important, very important, Capricorn. The one. Is this about love? Capricorn. Let's have a look. I need to clarify that, because it tasted very strongly of something very, very important. So, maybe waiting the 5 minutes for that next door is super important, Capricorn. It's so interesting to me the way that it's working out for different signs, because, this full moon, it is supposed to be Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, the ones most affected. But so far, they're the ones actually taking it easy through this full moon. To be honest, they've got good energies happening, whereas there's other ones that are having a little bit more confronting energies. But so far, yourself, Capricorn, and Scorpio, it remains to be seen if there's any other signs. Big timeline shifts. Big timeline shift for you. This period of time, it could change the fabric of your universe. It could change your entire life. Yeah, while we're going through it, it's like struggles a little bit. It's a struggling time with the eclipses and retrogrades and full moons and all this sorts of stuff. It's emotional. Like I said in that intro, it asks for patience. And what does patience usually bring with it? Frustration. So it might be a little bit of a struggle to get through this. But then once we're through it, wow. You may be looking at a whole new something. Whole timeline, changing dimensions, Capricorn. Wow. Clarify this doorways energy for Capricorn. I saw that. I saw what that was. Just giving you the weird faces, Capricorn. The masculine came out. The masculine came out. I'm reading everyone as feminine energy today because it's full moon shadow work. Full moons, we delve in feminine. So the masculine is somebody, divine partner, yeah? Capricorn. Clarify the doorways energy for Capricorn, please. Pretty much what I just said. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the moth. So we do see a lot of transformation, metamorphosis. You're not a caterpillar. You're about to be a moth. We have the whip, the struggle that I was just talking about. All the self-punishment, all the conflict, all the drama, all the tension, trouble. Here comes eternal flame for you, Capricorn. Passion, desire, your eternal flame burning away. We have the crossroads. We have timeline shift. The path is changing. That's what that reads as, Capricorn. There's a new doorway, a new pathway. We're on a timeline shift here for you. Transformation, metamorphosis. It's got to do with your eternal flame. What is the one thing in this world that drives you and inspires you, and in that you're truly passionate about, Capricorn? And honestly, all right, honestly, it's not work. It might be for a couple of you, right? But so be it. The thing that you've had trouble with the most in your life. For a lot of you, it's love. For a lot of you, it's love, for sure. Let's have a look with the other deck, because this is mega interesting. I'm so nosy and I love this ish. Capricorn. Capricorn, what's Capricorn need to know in regard to their shadow work? Shadow work energy for Capricorn, please. Practice meditation, Capricorn. Purple. Purple is coming through as very important here. Purple, that's your third eye. I was talking about, everything is relevant to everything else. It's driving me insane today with the synchronicities. And that's the other thing, that time energy that we saw right at the start here. Synchronicities, so strong. Time, the flow of time, super strong. Everything is connected to everything else, Capricorn. Purple. So I'll tell you what I've been talking about when it comes to the color purple and your third eye chakra. It's actually very, very important with the color purple because it really actually opens your third eye, really helps increase your third eye powers, so your powers of intuition, the powers of seeing that which cannot be seen. Yeah. Knowing, seeing, seeing that which cannot be seen, I suppose is how I'm going to use to describe that. Practice meditation. You may be, especially third eye stuff, all right? So meditation to open, to clear, to, whatever, your third eye. Meditations revolved around the color purple, around your third eye chakra, around intuitive or psychic even abilities for you, Capricorn. Super good for you right now. But you need to practice. All right. So that means that I'm giving you homework, Capricorn. You have now got homework. I want Capricorn, I want you to be practicing, because practice actually means, it's the theory that if you do something 1,000 times, you then know how to do it. All right. So you need to do it. All right. I feel like a lot of you know meditation in theory, and sometimes you meditate. You need to make a commitment to practice meditation. It's a skill. It's a skill that you are building within your own self. All right. So I want 2 nights in the next week, at least 2. Okay. It would be, to be honest, it would be better if you did a meditation for at least 15 minutes every single day. All right. But I'm going to ask for just a minimum of 2 this coming week. All right. Set some time aside specifically for meditation. Try to have something the color purple either with you or in the meditation somehow that you're doing. And the other homework you have is to eat something purple this week. Try to incorporate purple into your food this week. All right. So certain berries are purple. I know, like blackberries, they count. Certain berries, eggplant, plums. Plums have been in my face like crazy this week. Yeah. My son and I sat down and I don't know why I had 5 plums, but I had 5 plums. We chopped them up and we sat there and we shared a plate of plums. And I sat there and I told him about how good plums are for your intuitive side and for, opening your third eye. I went through this whole spiel with my 8-year-old. Recently, and I've had this same conversation with my sister this week as well, because she got a box of plums for $1 just randomly, and she was like, plums, I haven't had plums. That's why everyone keeps getting plums, because we all need plums right now to get us through this full moon. All right, so if you can get your hands on some plums, even just, plum jam or, plum whatever. I don't know what is available plum-wise, but you want to try to make sure it's purple, like the plum color, and you want to make sure it's like natural. The more natural, the better. So if you can actually have a plum to eat, that would be perfect. So try to incorporate, if you can't get plums, go with eggplants or something else that is purple. So I know, like blackberries. There's got to be other fruit. I just can't think of them right now. Passion fruit counts as a purple fruit, even though the internals are not purple. Passion fruit does count. Choose love, Capricorn. Choose love. Once again, too, we see the pathway as well. We saw that pathway, that the timeline is shifting. The path is changing. You're on the path. You need to choose. The path actually does talk about making a choice as well. So consciously choosing that, I choose love. I'm not going to allow fear. I'm not going to allow time to overtake me here. I'm going to choose love. All right. Along this journey. Capricorn, clarify this energy for Capricorn's shadow work, please. Pretty straightforward. We've got the clouds. We've got the cross. We've got the stars. Get out of your thoughts. Get out of your head. Stop stressing. Get rid of the anxiety about it. Stop thinking about it so much. Start trusting. Just start trusting. Stop thinking. Start trusting. You're holding on to a lot of responsibilities and burdens within your own thoughts here. You're clouding your own judgment here. You need to just start trusting. Just trust that the time is now. The time is soon. The door's about to open. The next door has got the one stamped all over it for you, Capricorn. Trust that destiny has your back. This is a very destined full moon. There's a lot of destiny in the air, a lot of fate, a lot of fated events, a lot of karmic events in the air. Trust that it's got your back here. when it comes to pushing you towards love and your true dreams and desires and wishes when it comes to love. All right. Like I said, for a lot of you, this is love. For some of you, for a couple of you, it may not be love specifically, but majority of you, it's love. All right. But it's what burns, what's burning deep within you. What's the burning desire deep down? What's those burning wishes and desires? That's what the next doorway holds for you, Capricorn. Have a little bit more faith through this struggle period. Time is nigh. Time is almost upon us. Stop trying to control time so much, and stop being so stuck in time, as in reality. You know, reality, the 3D world, very time constructed. Time is very linear, and this full moon is trying to show you that with the time jumps and the timeline shifts and things like that. So just trust that it's the right time. Things are about to change very drastically for you, Capricorn. It's a huge jump. I'm not going to lie. It's a huge jump. So get back to me in a month and let me know how much it's all changed for you, because only time will tell. All right, but that's what we've got for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. What aspects are we looking at for your shadow work this month? Aquarius, shadow work for our Aquarians, please. Interesting. Firstly, we've got the chakras card coming through there. So I am feeling that this is an important time for some sort of alignment for you. So I do feel as though this may be a specific chakra that is sort of just out of balance a little bit. But we're kind of seeing, you know, some full body alignment needed for you when it comes to your chakras. Like I sort of said at the beginning of the reading there in the intro, that this particular full moon, it is a call to purify and realign oneself, just in general, and an opportunity to close out things in your life that are not working for you. So there may just be something there connected to one of your chakras that's just you've been struggling with, and it's a good chance for you to realign that. The interesting card here, Sagittarius actually got this as well, but it's feeling a little bit different for you. We have the bag of marbles. Although you are a very bag of marbles energy as well. You know, and what I kind of mean by that is it's like people call you crazy. Even myself here on the channel, I do sometimes call Aquarius, you know, the star babies, the space aliens, often space babies, just a little bit left of center, and we love that on this channel. I'm not going to lie. It's one of my favorite things about Aquarius, that you are so space cadet, you know. But the bag of marbles energy, it's like something's just come loose, I feel. We've seen this bag, they're all out on the table here. It's just feeling like something's just been knocked loose, and that's why the chakras are just out of alignment at the moment. So needing to spend some time aligning your chakras and finding balance within oneself, aligning. Clarify this message for Aquarius, please. Shadow work message for Aquarius. Yeah, we have the book coming through first. So I'm feeling that there's just some knowledge, some research you're needing to do for your own self at the moment, just to understand yourself a little bit more. I feel like this is just learning more about yourself. We have the cat coming through next, which is very, very similar to the dog energy, but the cat is a little bit more standoffish. It does, it's that part of ourselves that, that we want to be friends with, but there's just a little bit of distance, and it doesn't come easily, I suppose. It's just a little bit more standoffish, and you're just a bit of a stranger to you. It's the parts of yourself that you don't understand very well. So this full moon really is an opportunity for you to research that part of yourself and learn a little bit more about that side of yourself that has been a bit of a stranger, that something's sort of fallen out on the table, and it's demanding that you look at it through this full moon, and understand that side of yourself a little bit more, and accept that side of yourself a little bit more. Find new ideas of doing things. We have the stork here. It's stirring something up within yourself, just to sort of find a new perspective. I feel for a lot of you to look at something a little bit differently. I'm just kind of trying to think of an example here. I'll use the throat chakra as an example, okay, because that's a pretty easy one to talk about. The throat chakra, when the throat chakra is blocked, it's very often a sign of, having trouble speaking up for ourselves and things like that. And with that bag of marbles, that this issue's out on the table at the moment, that you're having an issue speaking up for yourself, and it's come out to light that you need to put it all on the table a little bit more by being more verbal, but you're still really struggling to understand why you can't verbalize that want or that need. So you're just needing to learn a little bit more about, that part of yourself that holds back, and that part of yourself that is struggling to communicate your own truth here, and find a new way, stir up some ideas within you on how, maybe I should try this, maybe I should try that, and just trying new things and stirring up new ideas on how to, balance that out for yourself, and try to compensate for that blockage, because once we accept it and understand a little bit more, and then try new things, eventually we find something that works, and it helps us sort of move forward and unblock and align again with that sort of stuff. So pretty straightforward message there, but we'll have a look with the other deck for you as well. Okay, Aquarius, what's going on for Aquarius with the full moon energy? Shadow work for Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know for their shadow work? Practice, practice, practice makes perfect, Aquarius. All right, so we have practice self-discipline. Oh, you guys struggle with that a bit, don't you? We also have practice meditation. All right, so the meditation one you may be not struggling with quite as much, but the self-discipline, Aquarius, I do find you are a sign that marches to the beat of your own drum, and sometimes it is hard to be a little bit more controlling of yourself, and pull yourself in when you need to, and hold yourself back a bit when you need to as well. So the self-discipline, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I feel like, practicing self-discipline, it could come through for you in the form of practicing meditation, just forcing yourself to put something to practice, and taking practical steps towards things here, in order to find that recipe for self-discipline within yourself of, I will do this, and then following through and actually doing it. So we do see the word practice coming through twice here. Practice is an interesting concept, because we are seeing you learning, finding knowledge as well. And then what happens when you find the knowledge? You need to start putting it into practice if you want to gain that skill fully. So we do hear that thing about, once you practice something enough times, it becomes second nature. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on here for you, is we're just evolving here a little bit, in the sense of learning more about things about that we maybe have been blocked and holding back and unbalanced in, and now we're putting the theories into practice, finding the things that work for us here, starting to put those into practice a little bit more to make sure that we are coming into alignment with ourselves. With that practice meditation as well as the chakras card, I really would suggest doing chakra meditations, balancing chakra meditations. You can do them individually, or you can do full body chakra balancing meditations, guided meditations. I feel like even just frequency music in the chakras would be really good for you here, Aquarius. But I feel it's more about the setting a goal and sticking to it. All right. So setting a goal to yourself that this week I'm going to, set aside 2 nights a week where I'm going to sit down, do a meditation. This is my goal. I'm going to do it. And then actually following through. Practicing, finding that self-discipline to force yourself to follow through with that goal, and actually achieving that for yourself. And it really is just such a small little thing. Like, it sounds like such a small little thing, but it is actually going to make a big change for you in the long run. Make you sort of have this awareness of being able to set goals a little bit clearer for yourself and stick to them. All right. Clarify this message for Aquarius. Obviously, that card, which was the lily. Yeah, so just affirming here that this is making long-term changes for you. At first, it may feel as though you're having to be a little bit vulnerable. It might not be comfortable for you, but this is part of you being kind to yourself and to your soul. All right, helping remove illusions and breaking through, the parts of yourself that you're not being truthful to yourself. This is why we're learning a little bit more about ourselves and, researching the stranger within kind of energy, because, that stranger within, I feel like for some of you, you've been telling yourself that isn't necessary to worry about that, but it kind of is, because it's, it's a part of yourself that you don't necessarily understand yet. So you're sort of breaking through those illusions and, finding that you do actually have a little bit more passion for being kind to yourself than you thought you did. We also have the ship. So it's all part of the journey, part of the learning experience, part of the journey, going to set you up for that future, for the long term. All right, that's what's happening for you this full moon is you're putting things into place, that self-discipline, the practicing things, and looking at things in different ways, finding ideas on how to do things differently for yourself, in order to make a longer term change when it comes to how you're balanced and how you're aligned with yourself. All right, so pretty straightforward for you today, Aquarius. I like to see, but that's what we have for you. More than welcome to check other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Pisces, what does Pisces need to know for their shadow work this month? Pisces, what's going on for Pisces? Aspects for Pisces to be aware of for their shadow work, please. It's very interesting because I'm actually noticing a bit of a pattern here, Pisces. Yourself, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Gemini are the signs, listed to be most affected by this particular full moon. But what I'm actually noticing in this pattern is that the way that you guys are being affected is in such a positive way. It's kind of a really good energy for you this full moon, so make the most of it. All right, especially here, the first card we've got for you is abundance. But the interesting thing, you see this figure here, arms out wide. So for you, Pisces, this shadow work is actually about being able to accept abundance, being able to open up to the idea of abundance in your own life, and not hiding from the abundance around you, available to you. I feel as though for a lot of you, Pisces, this is something that it feels like it's become a little bit of a struggle for some of you to even see the abundance that is being offered to you here, even being able to recognize how much you have that you can take. here. Because it seems to be there's just a general abundance available to you. But I feel like for a lot of you, you're not necessarily taking it. And you've just become very comfortable in not having it. So that's become like a habit to feel as though I'm not abundant. And abundance is a lot of different things. It's, quite often associated with wealth and financial abundance, but abundance, is a lot of things, like abundantly free, abundantly loved, abundantly, have an abundance of family and friends, have an abundance of just the basic stuff, like I'm sort of getting a secondary message here to tell you, if you're sitting here watching my video today, you obviously have a device to watch it on. You obviously have access to the internet to be watching. Most likely in that case, you have clothing, you have shelter, you have food. Even if you don't have much, you have it. So I'm picking up very strongly on people watching that are living, in similar circumstances to myself. I'm living in Australia, and here in Australia there is just so much abundance just to be had. Even the poorest people in Australia. This is actually something, like I said, my son is a Pisces, and I actually said this to him today, and I said to him that, because he actually said, well, he said first that, Mum, we're so lucky to live in Australia because it's such a lovely, beautiful country. And I said, yes, we are. Because, we are so lucky here. We don't realize how lucky we are to have been born in Australia because, even we are we're not a third world country. Everybody's having struggles at the moment. Yes, I get that. There is a lot of struggles with, the cost of living and costs of, money. A lot of people struggling with that. A lot of people struggling with, different things in their life, health, love, freedoms, family issues, all those sorts of things, lots of different things. But yeah, we're lucky because, here in Australia, we have healthcare. We have one of the most beautiful countries in the world, within easy access to us. My son and I, we live 20 minutes from the beach, and some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. We have, my child is, I was taking him to school. We have a free public school system where he's able to be educated and attend school. There's nothing stopping him from going to school. He's able to go to school and get to school. I had a car to take him to school. So we are very, very abundant and very, very blessed to live in Australia. And I was actually saying to him that, do you know what, that even the poorest person in Australia is still better off than about 95% of the world. Stop and think about that. About, and that is, it's not just a random figure I've pulled out of nowhere. I've fact checked this one in the past. I have talked about this before. That and if you're watching from America, if you're watching from one of the countries that you have a house that if you're sitting, because that was the main constitutes of the fact was, if you have shelter, you have food. If you have food to go, if you were hungry right now and you went up, you could go and grab something to eat right now. You have shelter, somewhere safe to sleep, a bed. You have access to clean water. You are actually wealthier than 95% of the world. That is like deplorable to start with, that 95% of the world is living substandard. But doesn't it make you realize, doesn't it put things into perspective a little bit about how truly abundant you really are? We also have the tree of life. Trees often symbolize healing, growth, taking care of oneself, taking care of the things that feed your abundance. This tree of life that you woke up this morning. If that's the best thing that's happened all day, then that's the best thing. You're lucky. You are lucky, Pisces. You woke up this morning. If you're hungry, you can go eat. If you're tired, you can go sleep safely. You are lucky, Pisces. I will clarify that energy though. It is giving me Lion King references for some reason. Maybe it's just because of the type of tree. It may just be an image-based reference there. It's not telling me the actual reference. It's just I'm just hearing Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful. That's all I'm hearing. I don't even know. It's our problem-free philosophy. So maybe embracing Hakuna Matata energy. Play it, turn it up, sing along, Clarify this message for Pisces, please. How blessed we are to wake up each day, even when you don't want to. We've got the candle. Just because I feel like you're burning the candle at both ends a little bit here, Pisces, that you're keeping the flame alive for, it's kind of like you're keeping the flame alive, and you're so focused on the flame, though, that you're not being grateful that it's making the shadows recede. If that makes sense, you're so focused on the flame that you're not enjoying the light that it provides. You're so focused on wanting XYZ in your life. You're wanting to burn towards this and this and this, and I've got to have this, I need this in my life, I have to have that in my life, I don't have this, I don't have that. You're forgetting to see how much light is already around you. You're like, it needs to burn brighter, it needs to burn brighter. It's not bright enough, but you're not realizing that it's already lighting up the whole room. The abundance that already exists around you. The tree. That's super interesting. The tree of life being clarified by the tree. Healing, wisdom. It's looking at the bigger picture of life as a whole, of all the abundance that you have in your life. Definitely looking at the bigger picture here. Looking after yourself, but also seeing yourself as how lucky you really are, how grown you have, how much you have grown already. You're a giant tree. You've already grown so much. You've been watered. You've been given sunlight. You have grown. You're not a stunted little sapling. All right? Appreciating the past and appreciating where we've been, knowing that the light around us is going to guide us. It is going to guide us to where we want to be. But we need to use the light around us, not, and the light from the past and how far we've come, to know that, to see the bigger picture, that we're not just seeing just the candle flame, that we're seeing the whole room being lit up. We're seeing everything around that, and we're seeing, the whole picture. We're being guided to more. We're being guided to that flame by seeing the whole picture, the more around us that surrounds us. All right. So this is like being guided to really see how far you've already come, how much you've already grown, how much you've already healed, and using that to guide you to trust a little bit more that look, I just need to stop and appreciate and realize how much abundance I've got, and open my arms up wide and say, do you know what? This is amazing. I love it. More, please. Give it to me. I'm ready. I'm willing to have it. Like, I'll take it. Because I feel like some of you, there's a hesitation there where you're so focused on this flame, and I want this and I want that and I want this. But like, if it landed in your lap tomorrow, would you really be comfortable with that? I feel like a lot of you wouldn't. You don't know how to accept it when it comes. Pisces, what does Pisces need to know for their shadow work, please? Share your light. Notice how we're not focusing on the flame anymore. We're focusing on, the light that is coming from that flame. All right, so that's very similar energy there to that candle, but it's about sharing that and opening that up and seeing how much that light of yours and how much your growth and healing actually, it's an abundance that you're giving to the world as well. You're like, whew, look at me. Here's me. I'll take I'll start to accept it now, because I know that I'm giving back, and I know that I'm sharing that light with everybody. I'm not just focused on the flame anymore. I'm sharing the whole entire thing. All right, giving what you're getting a little bit more there as well, Pisces. All right, so I do feel for a lot of you, very giving people by nature, and you have just become somewhat closed off. I'm just picking up some circumstances that have led to that, obviously, but you have just been a little bit closed off. It's time to open your arms and allow everything in and flow, but it goes both ways, all right? When you want the abundance in, you got to give some out as well. Embrace your authenticity. You are unique. You are beautiful. You are you. You are authentically you. Embrace that, because it's and that's, once again, it's embracing. Look at me. Look how far I've come. Look how this is amazing that I've come so far. Like, with considering everything I've been through, look at my past, and I've still managed to have this light that I can share with the people that I care about. Amazing. I'm so beautiful. I'm so, and that's the truth of you. Share it. That's, embrace your authenticity. It's real. It's you. It's authentic. It's part of your truth. All right. You have a light. You are a light. I love it, Pisces. Clarify this message for Pisces, please. What does Pisces need to know in regard to shadow work this month? I love it. I love it. The flowers coming through first. Give. The more you give, the more you receive. All right? The more you give of yourself, your time, your love, your energy, the more you receive. Open those arms up wide and allow people in. Open those arms. Here, take, give, take, give, take, give. Share, share. Sharing is never one way, right? Share, otherwise it would be called gifting. Sharing. Giving, taking, taking. We have the scythe, breaking free from this closed off energy, and making sudden unexpected changes in your life to give a little bit more, to change. I do feel, though, that for a lot of you it's talking about the more that you give and the more that you start embracing this abundance, that's when a big change hits, and maybe very unexpected for a lot of you, but it's bang, here's all your wishes coming true. That goes back to that flame. All those things that you've been focused on, the more that you see the bigger picture, and the more that you give to the bigger picture and to everybody around you, bang, here comes that flame, lands in your lap, Pisces. It's all your wishes coming true. Be hopeful, be optimistic. It's You know, stop focusing on what you need, what you don't have, what you want. Focus on the bigger picture, what you do have, what you've already got, what you've got to give to others. And bang, all of a sudden you get what you want anyway. So, you know, it's funny how things work that way sometimes. The less focused you are on the actual thing, and then bang, here it comes, lands right in your lap. All right, so that's what we've got for you today, Pisces. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Aries. Okay, Aries. Aries, what does Aries need to know in regard to shadow work? Shadow work for our Aries. What aspects of shadow work does Aries need to consider this month? Oh, had a few signs get this one. Oh, this is exactly the same as what Capricorn got. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Phoenix, transformation, Aries. I'm going to mark you down as well. Okay, so we've got Scorpio, Capricorn, and Aries so far. This particular full moon, this eclipse season, these retrograde season, big things, big changes, timelines shifting. This is definitely fate on its way. If it's not starting already, Aries. I know and I want to say for you, Aries, I know it's a struggle right now, because I feel like it's a struggle right now. The struggle is why it's going to change so much, because you're struggling so much now. That's how much things are changing. That it's, you know, struggle and patience with things changing and not being what we want, and emotions, frustrations. It's like the more that's coming in now, the more change is going to come through, and you know, change those cycles that aren't working for you here, Aries. And the narrative that you've been stuck on that is not actually helpful for your self-growth is about to change big time. All right, the challenge, that's why you're feeling these significant challenges through this time, is because it's a purge. It's a getting it all out for once and all, so that destiny can transform it, transform you, transform your life. Significant turning point in your life. Huge, 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 huge. We have time coming through first here, followed by doorways, which is exactly what Capricorn got. Those exact two cards is what Capricorn got. So if you do have strong Capricorn, make sure you check the Capricorn reading as well. Scorpio also had the time card as well. So this time card is actually coming through very strongly: fate, destiny, karma, synchronicities. A lot of you might be seeing a lot of synchronicities around this time as well. You, like Scorpio and Capricorn, may also be noticing time shifting around you, feeling as though you've lost time, feeling as though things have been taking too long. You may even just like intuitively feel, wow, why does everything feel different? Timelines shifting. Like, why do I feel like I'm being sucked into another dimension? So it might just be something about time being pointed out to you at the moment, that it's not linear. It's not structured as much as we structure it. time flows differently to our souls than what it does to our human brains. I'm going to clarify this before we move on, because I just want to, like, I did get a certain message here for Capricorn, and I just want to make sure which direction it's going for you, Aries. Clarify this shadow work message for our Aries. I'm all of a sudden getting like a struggling to talk. I feel like the Mercury retrograde might definitely bring some feeling like struggling to communicate. Clarify this message for Aries, please. Definitely seen the timeline shift for you too. Not gonna lie. Firstly, we're seeing the clouds. The need to get out of your head a little bit here, Aries. And, you know, your judgment is being clouded. The interesting thing here, right, because with that doorways card, with this doorways card, I don't know if you can even tell, but see how there's that open doorway. On the other side of that doorway is clouds. That's where we've been looking at. Where we are looking right now, where we have been looking right now. We've been looking at the clouds. We've been looking at all those reality, mind-based, logical things. You know, all the different, you know, overthinking and anxieties, and, you know, it's clouded our judgment. All right. So right now we're only seeing that as the open door. We're only seeing that as the possibility here. But what's actually happening with these doorways, with these clouds, this is where we've been. This is why it's been such a struggle, because we've been stuck in our head. We've been stuck in our thoughts. We've been stuck in logic. Here comes the crossroads, the path. A decision's being made here. A new path is opening up, a timeline jump. This is the timeline jump. And then what happens to this doorways when this comes in? Have you seen Monsters Inc., Aries? What happens? That's not the doorway that we can go in. We can't, even though it's the only one open, it's not ours. We actually need to shuffle the doorways. The next one that opens, so much better for us than this one. This one is not working for us. This is what we're needing to clear off and get rid of in this full moon. Getting out of our head. Generally, when we get out of our head space, we need to move into our heart space and trust our emotions a little bit more. And this full moon is definitely going to be bringing up those emotions. Yeah, it's an emotional full moon, this one. There's a reason. It's because we need to get out of our head. That's not our doorway anymore. Maybe that was your doorway at some point, but it's done. We can't go back through that doorway. That's not the right one anymore. We need to be like Monsters Inc. and we shuffle it. We shuffle it and we pick another door. We get another door, and we get another door given to us. And the next door here, instead of being the clouds, it's actually the city, which I'm not sure what that is. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure what that is. It's big. Definitely big. Definitely big. Like a city, right? It's huge. It's not just a little town with a few houses. It's big. It's big. It's connected as well. Connected. There's more people. It's connected. I'm getting living on top of each other. I don't know what that means, but clarify this city card for Aries, please. Clarify the city card for Aries. I do feel as though there's an element of this where you don't even know. I don't know what it means. You don't know what it means. But you will know what it means when it happens, or when you know it. Why are you being so obtuse? That was clarified by the anchor. So it's movement to start with. The things where we've been stuck. We've been stuck up with our head up in the clouds. We've been stuck on that old doorway. This is a new opportunity to busy, energy, movement, busy, connectedness, big, something big. But it's reliable, it's dependable, it's secure. This is like your anchor through in the world. This is actually going to be something so much more dependable for you than those clouds which drift and turn to mist and float away. This is something much more secure. I'll get your next deck out, so see if we can get some more information, because there's something more. There's something more about this here, Aries. Aries, what's going on for Aries with their shadow work this month? What does Aries need to know in regard to shadow work, please? Firstly, we've got declutter. So that's throwing out all those thoughts, decluttering. You don't need that doorway anymore. It's time to shift it and get rid of it. Throw it out. You don't need it. Declutter. Declutter the things from your life that are not serving your highest purpose anymore. Some of you, I feel like you actually need to physically declutter your space as well. That might be some homework for you this full moon, Aries, is, put that energy to good use and tidy up your living space. For others of you, this is decluttering your life in the sense of removing things that are worthless to you, people that are worthless to you. Are they bringing joy? Are they bringing happiness? Are they helping the situation? Or are they making you go around in circles? Are they clouding your judgment? Are they confusing you even more, making you believe that anxiety is real? Does that make sense? It's time to get rid of them. I'm not going to lie. Declutter your life. It's not serving your growth. It's not serving your highest good. Intend and manifest. What do you want? What are your intentions? What if you could have any doorway open to you? What would it be? If you could have any wish come true tomorrow, what would it actually be? And decluttering the wish a little bit too, because I'm feeling that some of you you're wishing for things that, like, especially those of you who are wishing for people. All right, I feel like some of you are wishing for something, and you're not realizing that you're actually wishing for an emotional connection. It's not necessarily a specific person that you're wishing for here. It's kind of like, I wish for a mother, but it's not that you're wishing for your mother. You're wishing, who did I get that for? That was Scorpio as well. So it's connected all to the you Scorpio and Capricorn, very connected this full moon for some reason. And I feel like there's one other sign connected here too, but I can't place it yet because I haven't gotten to it. So it's probably Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, or Leo then in that case, because they're the only ones I haven't done yet. I feel like it might be Cancer, actually. No. It's either Cancer or Gemini. It's one of those two. Probably Cancer. I feel like it might be Cancer. there is a connection here between those signs at the moment during this full moon. And, you know, like I was saying, the mother energy. It's like you're saying, oh, I wish I could see my mother, but it's not actually your mother that you're wanting to see. You're actually wanting a specific emotional connection, that mothering, nurturing, you know, a specific mothering energy, an emotion connected to that bond that you're placing on that bond that is not necessarily that person. Maybe you're like me, and your mother was never the sort of mother that would like pick you up and hug you and tell you that things would be okay. But that's what you're craving. You're craving someone to pick you up and cuddle you and tell you that things are going to be okay. You're craving the nurturing. You're not craving the actual mother. You know, so I feel like there's just a declutter the thing that you're trying to manifest here, because and understanding that you're not trying to manifest the mother, you're trying to manifest the emotion connected to that. So really clearing up your intentions with your manifestations a little bit, your wishes, all right? And then, so intend and manifest, following that up by taking actions towards that, all right? Because manifestation is an action, all right? Sometimes I feel like you need to take actions when we're seeing that energy, intend and then manifest, because in setting your intentions of what you really want here makes you realize sometimes that there is steps that you can take to actually make it manifest. You are a very passionate, stubborn sign, Aries. So if you want it, you can make it happen yourself, you know. You don't need to rely on the universe all the time. You can make it happen yourself. It's like, well, no, I don't like that doorway. So do you know what? I'm going to press this button and I'm going to make a new one appear. You're taking some sort of action to make that new doorway appear. I do feel like you're taking some sort of action here, Aries. Clarify this message for Aries. For some of you, that action may purely simply be decluttering. I am getting here, Aries. For some of you, you know, I was using the mother as example there, but for others of you, it could still be mother type example there. But we do have the dog followed by the child. So for some of you, this is actually more connected to a friendship type relationship. I feel like this is you're a little bit naive with this relationship, or you've outgrown this relationship. It's a very immature kind of relationship that you maybe feel that you've outgrown. For some of you, it's also a relationship with an actual child where it's time to actually, you know, be a little bit more compassionate and try to do things in a new way with the child. So if you have a child in your life that it's just not working, you know, things aren't working well with at the moment, or something like that, there may just be the need to, I hate to say it, Aries, but stop being so naive, and, you know, stop allowing them to be so immature, I suppose. For some of you, they're not a baby anymore. Maybe it's time for them to grow up a little bit more, and for you to be understanding and compassionate, yes, but to be a true friend to people, sometimes you need to be a little bit tough love as well. Not gonna lie, like, because is that not what I'm doing right here, right now? That with the shadow work readings, like I want to be, you know, I want to be understanding and compassionate, and I want to be, you know, empathetic of what everyone's going through on their own individual journeys. But in order to do so, sometimes we do need to be a little bit confronting and face the truth of things. And, you know, that can come across as confronting sometimes and triggering sometimes. And it's naive to think otherwise. It's naive to think that we can get through life without confrontation, without conflict. You know, it's actually more so about learning how to deal with the conflict and learning how to resolve the conflict and learning how to use the conflict to empower the situation and strengthen the bonds between people and relationships, as we move forward. So stirring up new ideas. There's your card, Aries, as well. Stirring up new ideas on how to do things with this child, how to find new ways to stir things up between you and this friend, whether, whoever this person, it does feel like it's a person around you. For some of you, I am picking up that the idea on how to, for some of you, it's to declutter certain aspects of the relationship, or maybe some of you need to declutter that relationship entirely. Not going to lie. You may need to just feel that one out yourself. I do feel, because I'm picking up on a masculine more so than anything here. So as in, normally I don't really genderize, but I am picking up on a male energy coming through with that dog and child. Okay, so I do feel as though this is somebody around you who is a male. Whether it's a male child, whether it's a male in your life that's a friend that's being immature, whether this is a partner or a family member, a brother, a uncle, or whatever. I am picking up a male for, like, I feel like that's for pretty much all of you. So it's really, can I just declutter aspects of this relationship? And if they're being very naive and immature about XYZ, do I just stop talking about XYZ to them and we focus on other aspects of that partnership? Or do I just declutter that person entirely here? I would suggest here, Aries, if you do have strong Scorpio or Capricorn in your chart, if you maybe you are aware of who that person is, and maybe they are a Scorpio or a Capricorn, and you may want to check the Scorpio Capricorn placement readings there as well. So that may be relevant for some of you as well. You're always welcome to check multiple placements with the shadow work readings if you can handle it, of course. Like I said, I am a bit confronting sometimes, but it was just very, very connected to both of those readings with this time card. And then, like I said, Capricorn actually had the time and the doorways. Their doorways were a little bit different. I did see the Monsters Inc. reference for them as well. So it must just be that card likes to talk about Monsters Inc. apparently. But I've picked up on a few random. I was picking up on The Lion King a minute ago as well. So we're getting all the kids type movies today for this full moon. Sometimes I get music. Sometimes I get a lot of kids sort of movies. Sometimes I get other movies as well. So just random. It's just random. It's just, whatever comes to me at the time. But you may be seeing synchronicities as well, because like I said to Capricorn, we've got card 11 and card 33 here. This clock itself is pointing to 11 and 3. So 11s and 3s may be significant to you. So you may be seeing like 11, 11, 3, 3, 3, 33. It looks like I'm about to actually timestamp the next sign at 1:30. Oh, no. Sorry, I forgot about my editing that I'm going to need to do, so that timestamp is irrelevant. But sorry for blathering on there a little bit, Aries. That's what we have for you today. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe, and we will move on over to Taurus. Okay. Taurus, what does Taurus need to know for their shadow work this month? What's going on for Taurus with their shadow work this month, please? Aspects of shadow work for Taurus. Pardon me. We have an epiphany for you. Coming into some realizations, Taurus. Very interesting. I quite like this energy for you, though. It is a kind of positive epiphanies coming through, receiving some clarity this full moon. It may take a little bit of time to get there completely, but it's like something subconsciously is just sort of clicking into place during the full moon for you, and it's going to start making a lot more sense as we go through the energy. We also have the juggler. You can see here, what are we juggling? We're juggling money, house, exercise. We're juggling time. I don't know what that is. I don't know what some of those items are. A book, knowledge, thoughts. Juggling a bit of everything, Taurus. So much rattling around up there. It's hard to keep track of, yeah? It's where the epiphany comes through. That's where the epiphany comes through about how we're managing our life, how we're balancing things, how we're, keeping things in perfect balance, juggling things, how many things are we juggling, and do we really need to be juggling all these things? Do I really need all these extra responsibilities? Is that something that I actually want? Is that some epiphanies definitely coming through there with that? Okay, Taurus, let's clarify and see what's going on with that. Shadow work for Taurus with this full moon, please. The epiphany and the juggler energy for Taurus with their shadow work. Yeah, pretty much what I already kind of covered here. We have the book coming through. So the book talks about knowledge, learning more about yourself and what you truly want, and educating yourself on, what's actually serving you and what is not, removing those things that are not serving your highest good, the things that are in motion that you're juggling at the moment, like really thinking about them, looking into them a little bit more, educating yourself on, is this something that, I need to be juggling in my life right now? Is this what I really want? Is this, taking me into my next chapter, or is this just holding me back? Is this just something that I'm doing because I feel like I have to? We have the fish coming through here as well. So for a lot of you, this is going to be very connected to money, abundance, fortune, your fortunes, when it comes to, where you make your fortune, and what makes you feel fortunate, what makes you feel abundant and wealthy in this world. Is it money? I don't think it is for a lot of you, Taurus. What makes you truly feel abundant in this world? Is it juggling all these responsibilities? Is it juggling all these financial drains? Is it juggling finances in general, that you're putting more power into the hold that finances have over you than you should be? Definitely having some epiphanies, some clarification on what the truth is of all these things for yourself here, and what you're giving to. We have the bouquet there, so it's about, what do I want to keep giving to, and what do I want to, stop giving to here? Like, am I giving too much energy to financial issues? Am I giving too much energy to, I have to make money? That kind of thing. Is that really suiting you? Is that really part of who you are? Is it that part of your next chapter to really care about the money side of things? And for some of you, it's the opposite. For some of you, it's about, I really want to change my fortune. I really want to actually put more time and effort in and give more in order to make more money, but in different ways as well. Because some of you, with this card here, the book, with some of you, it's about educating yourself on new ways to make money, and that's the epiphany, is that that I'm educating myself further. I'm finding a new skill that some of you may be even going back to school and things like that, choosing to juggle schooling, like further education of some sort, specifically because that's what you truly want to give to. And you're having this epiphany that, I'm not going in the direction that I want to go. I'm not juggling the things that I truly want to juggle here. And, maybe I do need to go and learn another skill so that I can juggle the things that I actually want to juggle in my life. give to the things that I actually want to give to. The things that I actually want to receive, I need to be giving, in the right direction to receive from that same direction, rather than giving to things that are not serving that higher purpose for myself here. Okay, wow. It kind of still shocks me sometimes when I pure channel like that. I can kind of tell now after I've stopped, because it's like, oh, wow, I can stop and take a breath when the channeling, I just got to get it all out, sort of thing. But we'll check with the other deck here and see what that wants to add for you, Taurus. Taurus, what's going on for Taurus with this full moon? Shadow work energy for our Taurus. Tune into your soul. I think a lot of these things that you're currently juggling, they're not what makes you happy. You're juggling responsibilities. You're not juggling the things that you truly want in your life. Really thinking about, tuning into your soul a little bit more about what your soul truly desires, rather than what you feel like you have to juggle here. We also have release self-limiting beliefs. Okay, break through the third wall here, Taurus. That that's part of this epiphany, that you've been holding yourself back from reaching for what you truly desire, because you've been so focused on juggling all these things in reality. It's not necessarily your reality. Your soul is trying to tell you that there's something else. There's something else that you're limiting yourself from believing that is possible for you. You've limited yourself from believing that you can do that you can have that, because you're so focused on the 3D reality of I need to juggle the money, I need to get the money, I need to do the thing, I need to do this, I need to do that. But you're not thinking about, hang on, but what would I truly want to do? What do I truly want to do here? Clarify this energy for Taurus, please. Clarify this energy for our Taurus. So yeah, the only limit to what you have to do is you yourself. All right. I'm hearing the word reimburse as well. I don't know what that's got to do with. We have the stars coming through. So aligning with your true wishes, your true desires here. The stars are within reach here, Taurus, and it's kind of an energy too of this full moon. We might see a little bit of struggle to get through the energy to begin with, but it really is a turning point for you here, to turn away from the restraints and turn towards the things that you truly want to give to and receive in your life. And I feel like for a lot of you, they are outside the realm of the 3D reality, money, job, car, house with the picket fence. I feel like your true desires are out a little bit further afield than those basic reality drains for a lot of you, that you want something more. You want happiness, you want love, you want freedom, you want peace. Freedom, I feel, for a lot of you is something that you may be looking into a little bit. We have the book again, so we are seeing a very strong focus for you on educating yourself further, learning new skills, even if that's just within your own self, learning more about your own self and learning more about what it is that truly drives you towards those wishes. Because we also have the ship. Set in sail on that brand new journey, making those changes that are leading you towards the things that you truly wish for here. So these epiphanies are coming through strong for you during this full moon period, and you will start moving in the right direction. It's time to get on that ship and start the journey. For some of you, it's sort of letting you know that, thinking further afield as well. Like the ship does talk about distance and travel. So, the education, the learning more about yourself, it may actually be a little bit farther afield, further away from what you currently think, if that makes sense. I'm just getting the distance in it's not necessarily a physical distance. It's a further from your thoughts, like something you maybe haven't even thought that far ahead, but now we're actually thinking that far ahead, that this is what I truly want, and then we can move our way backwards to, this is how I'm going to get it, or I'm going to educate myself on how to actually get to that, to close that distance between myself and my dreams. Yeah, so that's what we've got for you today, Taurus. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, Gemini. Gemini, what's going on for Gemini this full moon? What does Gemini need to know in regard to their shadow work, please? Gemini, you are one of the signs most affected by this full moon. I am seeing a pattern, though, that for the signs most affected by this full moon, it is actually in a very positive kind of way. You may actually be charging ahead from the full moon energy a little bit here. Interesting. We firstly have the butterflies for you. So we're definitely seeing transformation for you here, specifically with the way that you look at yourself. We have the mirror. So transforming the way that you look at yourself is coming through very heavy here. Self-deprecating behaviors may be flying out the window a little bit here, Gemini. I'm getting other messages there as well, but that does seem to be the main one, transforming the way that you perceive yourself and the way that you look at yourself in the mirror, actually being able to look at yourself in the mirror now than when you may not have been able to before. Maybe struggling with some self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem type issues where you have struggled to recognize yourself as yourself and accept yourself as how you are, the beautiful way that you are. Whereas now you're finding a little bit more freedom in that and being able to actually face yourself in the mirror a little bit more. Confronting oneself is always a good move for shadow work stuff. But for others of you, this is, confronting what triggers you a little bit, because that's kind of the same thing, but it's a little bit more confronting when it's the triggering stuff, the things that you see in others, realizing that they are a part of you, and that's why it's triggering you, or that's why it's setting something off within yourself. So, there's positive examples of that as well. So if you perceive around you, you're looking at people around you and you go, oh, I really wish I could be more like that. Those people are so, they're always so genuine and so kind. I wish I could be more like that. That you would not notice that quality about those people if that was not something that you, valued within oneself as well. So recognizing that you are perceiving that as something to strive for, because that is something that means something to you. The things that trigger us, they mean something. Okay, it's if it didn't mean anything to us, it wouldn't trigger us. We wouldn't care. Things that trigger us and that we flare us up emotionally, good and bad, they mean something to us. So it's about looking in that mirror and working out, what that means for us. And for some of you, it's specifically to do with that feeling of butterflies in the tummy, and what is that reflecting back to you? What does that feeling reflect back to you about, every time you've felt that sensation? What does that mean to you? Why do you care? Why is that confronting to you to have that feeling of it? I feel like for a lot of you, every time you get the butterflies in the tummy feeling, it's kind of anxiety. You feel like that's just anxiety and nervousness. But it's kind of like, well, what does it actually mean though? Like, why do you care? Because if it was just anxiety and nervousness, you probably wouldn't care as much as what you actually do. So why is that triggering you a little bit to feel the butterflies in the tummy? It's kind of giving me this energy here, Gemini, that every time you feel those butterflies in the tummy, that you're like, freak out. It's like, no, it's too real. Those butterflies, no, that must be a bad sign. But I really think here that those butterflies are trying to tell you something else. trying to make you face something else there, Gemini. So in confronting those sorts of things for you this full moon. But we'll clarify that, of course. Gemini, shadow work message for our Geminis, please. The butterflies and the mirror. And also, Gemini, why are you seeing transformation as a bad thing? I do feel, I'm feeling that for someone there as well. Why is transformation so scary? Why are the butterflies so scary? Oh, are you kidding? I love it when it does that. Butterflies. First card we have to clarify that is the moth, the butterflies. Okay, same card. It's the exact same. It's the exact same thing. Transformation. Butterflies. Butterflies and moths are day and night. Same thing. One's day, one's night. They're pretty much the exact same thing. Yeah. Most butterflies that we actually see as butterflies are technically actually moths. Just interesting little fact for you there. So, and we perceive moths very differently to how we perceive butterflies. When people talk about moths, it's like, oh, they go to the light, they're in love with the light. We think of Mothman, and it's a bit darker, it's a bit scarier. But that's how you've been seeing moths, yeah? Start looking at them as butterflies. Oh, they're so beautiful, they're so pretty, it's so daytime, it's so, flittery and fluttery. Perception a little bit there. Looking at that a little bit closer in the mirror, and it's what you put in. It's what you put in is what you get out. We have the bouquet there. Okay, so I feel like that's got to do with your perception. Once again, it's like the more that you give to the negative aspects here, the more that's what you receive. That you get what you give kind of energy. The flowers is it's reciprocal energy. And it does talk about gifts, but with that transformative energy, and then the reference to the moths and the butterflies, you get what you give. So if you're giving, they're all moths, they're all ugly, they're all bland, they're all nighttime scary, that's what you're going to get. If you're a butterflies in the tummy, that's scary, that's anxious, that's nervous, that doesn't mean anything. That's what you're going to get. Start giving to the positive aspects of those transformative energies. Butterflies in the tummy, that's flittery, that's fluttery, that makes me feel funny. Don't run away, run towards. You're running away from the moth, but you run towards butterflies. But you're running away from both because you're telling yourself that both are the moth. All right, so the way that you talk to yourself about these things, I feel. We have the birds there as well. So conversations needing to be had. You are somebody, I feel, Gemini, that you may have some people popping up in your energy over the retrograde energy, exes and that sort of stuff. Have the conversations. Have the conversations. Even if that's someone that you're feeling like you need to kind of reach out to, be the retrograde energy yourself and reach on out, because, you need to have those conversations, because it's all about, helping you understand and helping you confront these issues and in order to move through them and transform them for yourself here. So I do feel that those sorts of conversations would be really, really good for you in this period of time to have those conversations. Give a little bit of effort to confronting these things, and if you have felt butterflies for somebody and you haven't confronted that and you've run away, maybe have that conversation with that person and say, look, this is what happened for me, and this is why this happened, and it doesn't need to resolve anything. It resolves it within you, the way that you're perceiving yourself and the way that you're perceiving the issues, and being able to move forward in a more positive way for yourself in the future. Transform it within yourself. All right, so having the conversation, it's not helping anyone other than you, Gemini. It doesn't even matter, how the other person perceives that. Some of you may not even have that conversation with the person. Having that conversation within your own self is fine. But, some of you may want to reach out and speak to somebody about something I'm just picking that up there, that some of you may actually want to reach out and be the ex that pops up in retrograde season. Can't believe I'm telling someone to do that. Gemini, what does Gemini need to know for their shadow work this month, please? You do though. Take action. That's the take action card. All you need to do is start taking those steps. Doesn't matter how big they are. Step out of your comfort zone. All right, it might be uncomfortable, but it's stuff that, like I said, this is for you. This is for your growth. It doesn't matter the effect that has. It doesn't matter if that brings up conflict. It's that's part of stepping outside your comfort zone. Facing those butterflies a little bit here that, you know, they make you uncomfortable. In the past, you've run away from them and told yourself that they're moths, but, you know, we're stepping outside our comfort zone and we're going to approach those butterflies with fluttery, lovely, colourful rainbow energy. Take action. Have the conversations. Clarify this energy for Gemini with their shadow work, please. Ooh. Ooh. Your card flew on out. We have the fish. That's your card, Gemini. The card of abundance, the card of wealth. You find a wealth of forward movement, a wealth of change for yourself, a wealth of purification for yourself and realignment, purging out all the crap, moving forward from the past here. We have the past, reflecting upon the past. That's stepping outside that comfort zone. That's that comfort zone that you're needing to come on out of. We have the bear there as well. I do feel as though this is a person for a lot of you that you're having a conversation with. The bear does reference Leo, Aries, Capricorn people. It doesn't strictly need to be that sign. This is somebody who's very strong and powerful. They maybe have had a bit of bite. They maybe have had a bit of defensiveness or some strong boundaries that they've put up with you, or maybe you're the one that needed to put up the boundaries, or you've been the one on the defense a little bit with this person. But the bear energy is very strong, powerful. It's kind of that boss bitch energy. That's why I associate it with Capricorn, Aries, and Leo, because they're my main placements, and I am the bear. I self-identify as the bear. I don't know whether I've actually told your sign in past readings here, but I have tattoos on my fingers that I've done. If you can see those tattoos that we've got, heart, mind, and soul. Okay, I'm not sticking. Maybe I am. So heart, mind, and soul. So we have the heart, we have the fox, and we have the bear symbols. Okay, so that's what they've always symbolized for me. They're a part of me. So try, and it's embracing the negatives as well, because a lot of people, are scared of bears and see them as very intimidating and all that fun stuff. Embracing the bear, very interesting. Very interesting. I really kind of like that for you, though, Gemini. Stepping out of your comfort zone, taking action. Once again, I can't believe I'm telling somebody to actually be the problem for retrograde. Not really, but like be the one communicating on retrograde. Be the X popping up out of the background energy for the retrogrades. So I'm really actually surprised at myself. But that's what your energy is needing to do, is to take action, to find that closure for yourself and find that growth and transformation for yourself and take control of it. Stop running away from it and stop allowing it to be a negative and a darkness. It's a butterfly. Let yourself be free. All right. So that's what we've got for you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel and we will move on over to our Cancers. Okay, Cancer. What does Cancer need to know in regard to shadow work this month? Shadow work energy for Cancer. Shadow work energy for Cancer, please. I'm getting a very sort of straightforward message here, Cancer. Firstly, we have the hands. So this is like, you can see like helmet and tools and, someone drawing, someone painting, someone hammers and pliers and taps and things that you do with your hands, skills, doing something. Hands. And I'm getting, he's got the whole world in his hands, but it's skills, okay? We have the mirror as well. This is clearly telling me about you feeling incapable, feeling as though you're very unskilled, feeling as though you can't do anything, that you can't paint, you can't draw, you can't do plumbing, you can't build a house. You're focusing on what you cannot do. You're not focusing on the power of your skill set, the power in your hands, that you have the ability to not only learn those things, but the power is in your hands. You are the one in control. You need to look yourself in the mirror a little bit here and stop putting the responsibility in other people's hands. You're reflecting out that it's everybody else's responsibility to do those things for because you cannot do them, but you're not taking any responsibility of being capable. Okay, so I'm not saying that you have to literally learn how to go and be a plumber or anything like that. Learn how to go and paint if you can't paint. It's about knowing that you're capable of more than you're telling yourself that you are. Look yourself in the mirror and stop telling yourself that you're not capable of doing whatever it is that you put your mind to, or in this case, your hands to. Because you definitely are capable, and the power is in your hands. It's literally in your hands. Cancer, clarify this message for Cancer, please. We have the fox. So you need to be a little bit more clever like the fox. Start taking a bit more personal responsibility. Be a little bit more independent. Stop relying on other people so much. Sorry if this is confronting, Cancer. This is very, need to look yourself hard in the mirror energy. I'm not going to lie. It is, it's going to be a rough full moon for you. Not going to lie. All right. Because this is take a long, hard look in the mirror energy. Okay. You are not taking personal responsibility enough. You're more capable and more intelligent than you are telling yourself or allowing yourself to believe that you are. The power is in your hands. Once again, independence, learn it. Gosh, that sounded so mean. I'm sorry. It's a struggle. I'm not going to lie. It's a struggle. It's hard work. You need to start putting in the work. We have the mountain here. Needing to start putting in a little bit more work towards being able to achieve personal goals and take responsibility for those personal goals. It's you're the one climbing the mountain. You don't you're not, if you sit back and you ring somebody up and you say, okay, can you go and climb, what's the big mountain? I always forget the name of the big mountain that everyone climbs. For some reason, the only mountain I can ever think of is Kosciuszko. Is that an Australian mountain? I'm not very good with mountains, okay, guys? Even though I'm a Capricorn and this is my card, I understand the lenormand interpretations of the mountain, but when it comes to real world mountains, not really my jam, guys. But you're and I'm hearing like local mountains to me. That's random. The mountain. You're ringing someone up saying, can you go climb that mountain for me? Once they get to the top and they ring you, I'm at the top of the mountain. Can you see the view that they can see? Is it really your achievement if someone else, you've had to sort of outsource to somebody else? Is it your achievement? You're not the one that climbed it. You're not the one that put in the hard work. Stop outsourcing. You are the one that needs to put in the hard work. You can't rely on everybody else to do the work for you. It's in your hands. Personal responsibility. Start of a new journey, though, okay? It is the start of a new journey. It's definitely, your ships are coming in. You just need to put in the work to get to them, to cover this distance, and you'll get there. Okay, it's not all bad. I'm sorry for rousing on you a little bit, but they come through how they come through. The messages sometimes a little bit harsh for you this time round, Cancer. And I am sorry that if that's a bit confronting, but that's kind of what this is all about. Needing to take a good, long, hard look in the mirror and be very open and honest with yourself about the aspects where you're not taking personal responsibility in your life and you're outsourcing your problems, trying to get other people to fix them. Cancer. Cancer, shadow work messages for Cancer, please. Heal your relationships. Choose forgiveness. You might have to be the bigger person here, Cancer, in order to heal your relationships. You need to take a little bit more personal responsibility to heal those relationships and stop expecting that it's going to be everybody else's responsibility, that they're the only ones that have done anything wrong. You need to, choose forgiveness rather than just holding that against people forever. Because when you choose forgiveness, that's not for the other person. That's for you. You're the one that benefits from you forgiving. Maybe you're choosing to allow somebody forgiveness as well. It does flow both ways, forgiveness. But it's all about healing the relationship. And it's more important to heal the relationship than to hold on to a grudge. Cancer, clarify this message for Cancer, please. Communication. You need to communicate with this person. You need to heal this relationship. I'm not sure who this person is, but I feel like a lot of you know straight away. With what I'm seeing, you may have been selfish with this person. This person may be connected to Capricorn energy. We did see the mountain there. They may be connected to Gemini energy. We have Gemini card there, the fish. Once again, they may be connected to Capricorn energy with a double fox coming through as well. Personal responsibility. Communication. If you want a wealth of options and positivity and a wealth of learning and growth, a wealth of forgiveness being offered to you, personal responsibility. Standing up on your own 2 feet and taking responsibility where responsibility is due. Owning up to any selfishness, any player-like behavior, any mind games, and anything like I said what I wanted. I just wanted to get my own way, kind of thing. Anything like that. Needing to own up to that. Be open and honest and communicate. All it takes is sorry. Sometimes, all it takes is sorry. It's a start of that journey. All right. Who is this to Cancer? How will Cancer know who this person is that they need to offer forgiveness and who they need to communicate with, please? it goes both ways too, yeah, because I've got the flowers on the bottom, so it's going both ways here. We have the snake. So once again, I've got Gemini, Scorpio, Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. But with the snake energy here, it's somebody that you feel has betrayed you, somebody that you feel that they deceived you, but you need to actually stop and take personal responsibility for. Are you deceiving yourself? Did you betray them first? Did they betray you, really? Is that an illusion that you're telling yourself? Is that is that something that you're saying to yourself? Is that a narrative that you're putting on this person that may not necessarily be the truth? What was the role you played in that, Cancer? Being a little bit more honest and seeing through the illusions, seeing through the delusions, the deceit that you've put into this situation. I'm just picking up that, especially with that fox there. The fox is somebody that they just want to get their own way, and in order to get their own way, sometimes they will make themselves believe a certain narrative to make themselves feel better about getting their own way. And there's always three sides to a story: yours, theirs, and then the truth is somewhere in the middle. So stop thinking about your side of the story. Maybe try thinking about their side of the story. Might help you see through the delusion here. That might be somebody, but because I feel as though it is going both ways there. It's somebody that you feel has betrayed you. You feel as though they deceived you in some way. You maybe even said the phrase, "You're delusional," or they are delusional. Is it really all on them? Sorry to be so confronting, Cancer. That's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements. You may want to check out your moon being the full moon, but also your Venus or your Mercury placements may be significant with the retrogrades as well. If you know who that person is, you may want to cross-watch and see what's going on in their energy as well. But subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Leos. Okay, Leo, what's going on for Leo this full moon? What does Leo need to know for their shadow work, please? Oh, one more, please, for Leo. What does Leo need for their shadow work? This was the exact same two cards that Taurus had. Very interesting. So some of you may be connecting with a Taurus, or you may have strong Taurus placements. You may want to check the Taurus reading as well. I'm just going to mark that actually, Taurus and Leo, because I also had, I did actually have this week, I've had two other signs had the exact same cards as well. So there's a link this time around with Capricorn and Aries, also Scorpio linked, and then yourself and Taurus linked. Very interesting. We have the Epiphany card linking up here with the Juggler. Okay, you can see her sitting here, trying to keep in balance, perfect balance, all these different things: money, job, exercise, health, all this sorts of stuff, all trying to hold it all in perfect balance. And here comes the Epiphany, Leo. During this full moon, here comes the Epiphany about what I'm juggling. Let's have a bit of a look and see what exactly this is bringing on for you here. Leo, shadow work energy for Leo, please. It is very similar to Taurus's message. Firstly, we have the anchor. What's holding you back? What's keeping you stuck? The things that have been keeping you stuck, making you feel like you're stuck. I'm stuck. I've got to deal with this. I've got to be responsible for that. But I'm stuck. I'm stuck with this. I'm stuck with that. We have the fish, money, finances. So this epiphany, it's really going to have a lot to do with what's holding you back versus what is reliable and dependable energy for you to be juggling, especially with your financial stuff, your career, your finances, your sense of, what makes you feel wealthy in this world. And wealth doesn't always talk about money either, okay? So what truly makes you feel abundant in this world? And, are we doing it just for the sake that we feel pinned to it, feel held to it? Or are we doing it because it's a part of, what we want to be able to rely on in this world? What makes us feel secure and safe? Or is it something that makes us feel stuck and held back? Having a bit of an epiphany about that and what you're actually wanting to give to here. We have the flowers there as well. So really thinking about, what exactly am I juggling here? What's holding me back? What's, responsibility versus something that I can actually, depend on, rely on, makes me feel secure in this world. And what actually do I want to give to? What do I want to keep juggling here? Is there some stuff I'm happy for that to drop to the floor, and I don't need to keep it in the juggle routine here because it doesn't actually mean anything to me. It's holding me back. I don't want it anymore. What do I want to actually give my time, my love, my energy to? And what am I happy to let go of here? This full moon is about, breaking free from things that are holding us back and things like that. So definitely having some epiphanies coming through for you with the full moon energy. It's feeling once again like it was feeling for Taurus, where a lot of this is going on subconsciously. So it may take a little bit of time for it to sort of sink in. So I feel like the epiphany is happening subconsciously, and then you'll just sort of start to notice that you just, I don't want to hold on to that anymore. I just want to drop that. And you may just drop things off. And then when you actually stop and think about it, you're like, oh, yeah, it's because I don't actually care about that. So cool. I'm not worried about that falling out of my life. That's fine. Leo. Shadow work energy for our Leos, please. Yeah. Let go of our expectations. So, let go of the expectations that society is putting on you, basically, is what I'm getting from that. That is it you that is putting that expectation on yourself? Do you need to let go of that expectation, that because it's not actually meaningful to you, you don't actually want to give to that? Is it coming from, this is what I think everybody wants me to do? I feel like this is what I have to do. That's holding you back. Let go of that. Declutter. A lot of people have had this one today. Declutter your energy. Get rid of those things in your life that they're just not worth holding on to. They're just taking up space. Like, the more things that you're juggling, the more things that you're trying to balance here, the more likely you are to drop something that means something to you, or drop it all, and F up your entire life because you drop everything all at once. So if you declutter and get rid of those things that mean nothing and that you don't actually want to be juggling here, you have more control over the things that you do want. We'll just double clarify for you there. Just clarify that energy for Leo. I feel like we've pretty much covered it already, but we'll have a look. Shadow work energy for Leo here. same messages, different way. We have the tree. This is growth, taking care of yourself, looking after yourself, healing, growth. We have the mountain, you know, healing from those blockages, from those challenges, from those things that are making things harder. You know, climbing the mountains, putting in the work to declutter, to get rid of things that are not serving you anymore. Things that you know, is that a mountain you actually want to climb? You know, is it all work and no, you know, no actual reward for you there? If so, why are you climbing it? You know, stop juggling all these different mountains, because, you know, they'll crash down on top of you if you have too many. We have the anchor once again as well. So safety, security versus stuck. Dependable versus held down. Think about that when you're having these epiphanies, like what's holding you back, and what's you know, part of your safety net of within your own self of truth. You know, it's just the way that we're looking at it. You know, responsibilities versus responsibilities because I want, not because I have to, not because everyone says I should, but because I truly actually, you know, that makes me feel safe to do that or have that. Yeah. Okay, so a little bit of growth for you, a little bit of transformation, a bit of hard work as well. Epiphanies coming through though. You will find a bit of transformation happening in your life, and just things dropping out of your life that you're just not seeing the value in them anymore. They're not doing you any good. So it could be a few different things for different people. All right, but that's what we have for you. More than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all again next time. Make sure you are subscribed so that you can stay up to date with all the videos.